Hello, friends! Welcome back to Tomb of Annihilation. We're all ready to go, yes? No one needed a quick potty break? We're good. Let's dip back in. Let's dip back into the world of Chult. We see our tome spread before us once again, its many pages flying by our waking eyes. We see the ink fill the vellum and illustrate the previous episode's happenings and events. We see the party, some of the party. I believe we see War, Brolin, and Freesia finally make their way to the dinosaur races. And for Freesia, I don't think it's a finally. Freesia probably has been to these plenty of times. It's like a normal routine thing. For Brolin and War, it was a first-time event. There was betting. There was some money made, some money lost. Banana Candy did really well. There were some night races that were the Unchained races that were really fun, where everyone had paint like on their faces, like glowing paint that sort of illustrated who they were rooting for. It was a great, like, amazing festival that essentially Brolin, Freesia, and War got to take part in. Meanwhile, on the side, we were seeing some individual scenes between Alexandria and Valfine separately. We saw Valfine make her way to the gem market to try to learn more about this. Oh, we saw you say goodbye to the Temple of Gaunt. Say your goodbyes. Get a final passing gift, a clock. A very, very nice thing to have, and not many people have clocks around here. They're not mobile ones, at least. And then we see you go to the gem market and investigate more about this odd elemental gem, this rarity that was acquired by your quest into the refuse pit the days before, given to you by Alexandria. And you found out exactly its capabilities and what it can do, and you were offered a price and denied it. There was a back and forth, and you did not sell. You kept the elemental gem. And then looking over at Alexandria, I believe her time was mostly spent when we look over to her in her working at her workshop, moving further forward, coming to the last final touches of the gift, the magical item for Valfine. We see her take a little bit of time out of her day each day to research Chult. She found out about an ancient queen of Chult who was banished to Nangalore, apparently as some forbidden garden for being far too into herself. A little bit of Chult in fairy tale or lore, who knows, could blur the line. And we also saw Alexandria investigate further into the ring, the single ring for oh no, there was something else that happened that I forgot totally about. Alexandria actually had some big shit go on. She investigated into the ring that they found in the refuse pit, found out that it was in fact a ring of wish, and the wish was expended, and you also saw that on it was the symbol, the brand of Wakanga Tomu. And we skipped over to see you at a cafe in near the not the golden throne, but the huge golden palace, the Temple of Joaquin, in a cafe, an expensive cafe just outside. You met with the very well kept. He has good company. He had Vorn and all of his guards. Wakanga Tomu. You had a discussion back and forth with him about the magic item, if that magic item was acquirable for you, the price that kind of massive amount of magic would cost for you to acquire, and also found out that after asking him if he was interested still in helping you with your quest to Omu, he revealed that he was paid by someone he will not reveal the name of to not help you at all. At which point we cut from Alexandria, and I think we saw all of our party members gather finally at the docks, the harbor ward of Port Nyanzaru. We saw you board your ship, meeting River Mist, a very charismatic tabaxi captain, beautiful glowing orangish red fur, a big hat, flamboyant as any captain of a ship should be in these kind of adventures. And then her brother Flask of Wine, who is much her opposite. Grayed, kind of frizzled, not well maintained hair. Lot white in some places, but grayed and matted in others. Nervous and scared. It's kind of a contrast between the two. And your ship was also fully crewed as well, due to your exploits in the port in the past days. The refuse pit, I think, is what got you guys that. We see the party take off, make their way finally into a new adventure. We see the party on deck, the mist spraying in their face, getting, I believe, individual moments of just looking back at Port Nyanzaru, looking forward at what the future has to hold for you. We saw the party make their way through the Flaming Fist blockade, giving their adventure licenses with their names, some with their real names on them, some with their fake names on them, depending upon which character we're talking about. Hand those over along with a charter that was also apparently required by River Mist for this Flaming Fist blockade out into the Bay of Chult. You were able to pass a little bit quicker than normal due to River Mist's connections with the captain that was on duty at the time. You made your way through, but as you guys got about a mile out, you spotted a couple of you who had the opportunity to, I believe it was Brolin and Freesia, who pointed it out first to River Mist, and then slowly the entire ship drew attention to the fact that the sails of Baldur's Pride, the flagship of the Flaming Fist that you saw on your way through, it was anchored, two massive anchors, ching on both sides into the water. Those have lifted the sails down, and it's coming right at you. We saw Brolin fill the sails of the of Mako's Bite, your named ship, to try to get ahead in speed, and we got to see a scene on the deck of the ship as an audience of Sigil Jackbrass himself on the deck of the ship giving a command to fill his own sails with 6 Arcanists behind them, filling them to their max capacity and gaining currently on Mako's Bite. And that is where we currently find our party. So I'm going to shift us over to the tabletop here and get some different tracks going. All right, let's do no ocean shanty. That ain't happening. Let's just do a regular. There ain't no shanties. Let's get tense. We'll get tense music going. I think that's what we had before. I think these 2 tracks should be good. It's semi-tense. I think it's really low. I mean, if you want it to be really tense, I can give you like the actual shit. All right, let's see here. Okay, this might be a little extreme. This is too much. Do you guys think this is good? If they're going to attack you, I mean, they're just gaining on you. They don't have, like I noted before, they don't have their cannons out, like they're just gaining. Let's, cinematic, there's got to be a good one for cinematic here. I have tense twice on here. Let's see if tense plays. I liked tense last time. There it goes. It's low, but it's there. I might actually just turn down the ocean ambience a little bit so we don't get too much sea. Because it's kind of a, yeah. Turn down a little bit of ocean and crank this up. Okay. Yeah, you might have to crank this song up. I'll let you know when I change it so I don't blow all your ears out. So, what do you guys do? You see in the distance, River Mist is as nervous as ever, trying to find out a plan. She's looking out. She still has the spyglass, looking out in the distance. All of you, I believe, are on the deck. I don't think, Freesia, you were up. You came out of the crow's nest proper. All of you should be on deck in your respective places on this actual map, which I should have revealed to all of you. You guys should be able to see this whole map now, right? Cool. There was no reason for the line of sight. I was just being goofy last time. But the... you see it in the distance. It's probably, I mean, you're a mile out. It's about a mile off. It could be on you in 2-3 minutes at the speed it's pushing. Pretty fast. Up to you what you guys do, unless you're waiting for River Mist to speak, which she will. She has a thing she wants to do, but I want to give you all a chance to do something. They're going... Currently, even with Brolin's magic, they're going almost 6 times the speed of your ship. Those sails are as full as if a storm was behind them. It is cutting through the sea. You can see, I think it's easy to spot because the white foam is just smashing up against its iron hull. It's cutting through the ocean like a knife into butter. Well, you're on the... Are you up by River Mist, or are you down here? Who are you saying that to? Yeah, if you want to be up here, go ahead. Slide yourself over. River, if you say that to River Mist, if you're the first one to speak, she'll say, "No, no, we are not running from them. Flask!" And she'll yell down, says, "Get the Baldur's Gate flag out from below, quickly." And she just looks utterly nervous. Says, "You said you two had a map. Someone said there's a map? Something that he wants? Do you know something I don't?" Oh, she did. She did see the map. She says, "Oh, yeah, she absolutely did." He knows you have the map. Says, "So, Sigil Jack Brass wants your map." "Alright, so we're going to give it to him?" She's like pulling back. She's like, "I have never dealt with a duke before on my ship, let alone a lord, let alone a general of an army. I am very much not okay with this." And she looks to Freesia, just frustrated, just like, "I thought that this was going to be a lot simpler. I thought that you were just travelers." Looking at the party, it's like she's looking at you to blame. You're looking at the party to blame. Like, I didn't know they wanted it. What of Alexander and Delphine? What are you guys doing? It is not, unless you have something else on your mind, something else that could help you get out of this situation. If there's anything else, you pushing wind into the sails, they're doing that. It's obvious. You can see how like either those sails are magically enchanted. They're a mile off, so you can't exactly spot people. You could with the spyglass. River Mist would probably tell you guys that they're doing the same thing effectively, but their sails are full, and they got two big ones. You guys got one small one. But yeah, Delphine and Alexandria. What of Delphine? All right. You six. It's got the flaming fist flag. The big fist is on the main sail. It's looking right at you. What's up? Oh, shoot. Really? What's going on here? Tabletop cameras. Oh. What? Oh, man. Okay, we're gonna pause really quick. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Is this not... I'm trying to make it do... Come on. Is it this? Oh, I don't have it here. We're gonna... Okay.
Listen for it.
I can see you guys talking now.
Hey.
Properly.
That's good.
So we should be okay. I'm just gonna check the stream real quick because I'm mega paranoid. Is it coming through?
Yeah, I hear it on my browser
good.
tab. You should be good now. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, so sorry about that. Okay, back to where we were. Brolin, River Mist puts a hand on your shoulder as you're casting the spell. It's not going to do anything. They are going to catch up with us. Unless you have some kind of teleport spell or something more powerful. Any of you? Maybe?
I could stick a giant fish on him.
That's... no. No one is going to attack them. I do not want to incite the rage of the Flaming Fist. If it's that, then we can call my career a kaput. I do not want to do that.
Flaming Fist. We would all know who's on that boat, right?
On that boat?
Yeah, who's the leader on that boat?
Could be anyone. I mean, it could be Sigil Jack Brass himself. It could be one of his lieutenants. There's a couple high up people.
Like, we know that's his boat, but we don't know if he's on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You don't know where he's at exactly.
He wasn't standing at the helm or anything.
No, it's been said that he was at. When talking about asking about him at any moment, it was like, oh, we think he's at Fort Beloquin, or he's on his ship, or he's with the army out in there was a time apparently, at least when they first came, when he was commanding his troops right outside of Port Nyanzaru.
Okay, he's a busy boy.
Yeah, he's around.
What it really is we accidentally dropped something at the checkpoint and they're trying to give it back to us.
You dropped this. It's your watch. Here you go.
So it's a copper piece.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, River Flask. You see Flask of Wine come up. He dusts off a Baldur's Gate flag. It's got a couple of moth, holes in it a little bit, and you can hear River Flask say, River Mist, Flask, get that up as quickly as possible. I want to see that Baldur's Gate flag flying so that they know that we mean them no attack, that we will not be resisting. And she'll say, raise the sails. Half-mast. Don't anchor.
I'll dispel the magic.
I'm pretty sure they knew we at least tried to run, but let's at least look as though we accept defeat in this scenario.
We weren't trying to run, we were trying to get to our destination faster.
It's true, but let's hope that their spyglasses didn't see too much aboard our ship then. So, what's the plan here? If he rolls up, am I talking to him? Are we talking to him? What's going on?
Line up the cannons and open fire.
What?
Nobody is manning
Devastating
either of these
broadside.
ballista.
All right, listen.
Point those up, and she'll look at the two who are on the ballista. Point them up.
You'll
Someone
get a
get
much
the-
better angle that way.
Quick,
Fail.
someone get the grog ball.
Failfiend. Failfiend.
What?
Failfiend. Give me the map.
Why? What are you doing
I'm
with
gonna
the map?
put it in War's shell. Give me the map.
Oh, okay. I guess she'll hand it to you. Yeah.
Couldn't you just hand it to War?
War.
Do it.
Well, put it in your shell, War. They're not gonna look in there. That's your private place.
Do you take the map and shove it into your shell? You do so.
It's gonna smell like
Try,
turtles.
try to do it out of line of sight of the giant boat, though.
You go below deck and shove it back there. This ship has a minute before it is gonna be flanking you guys. Anything else? Right now, River Mist has commanded her crew to pacify, commanded her ship to pacify, her weapons to pacify, and she is just awaiting either you guys to say something or do something, or for this ship to approach. Because she doesn't have any answers to this situation, but she looks extra nervous about this situation. She has her hat off and she's pawing at it.
Okay, I go up to River Mist.
Oh yeah.
I set her. I take her aside. And all right, listen. All right, look at me. Look at me, River Mist.
I am looking at you, dwarf.
I don't know you, but I feel you and me are gonna be good friends. Listen, just stay positive.
Hear the vexed sigh from across the boat.
If we're not sunk
You
first,
hear two.
sure.
Two vexed size.
Sure, I'd love to be
Listen.
all of your friends if we get out of this alive.
Listen, but you gotta be calm, okay? You gotta be act natural. Act natural.
I am being natural. It's just, you're not helping at all.
Roland, we don't have time for this. What are we saying?
Well,
We
what do we
lost.
say?
We lost it.
I don't think it's
We-
a good idea
we
to lie
sold
to
it?
this man.
We didn't.
We sold it, huh?
It's in
Or-
a safe place.
Asteria had it.
Or here's a much better idea.
That one's not even a lie.
I mean, yes, until it magically wound up in your position again. Anyways, how about we come up with a more convincing lie? Maybe, I don't know, we didn't want to risk losing something so valuable on a second trip, so we deposited at the bank, knowing we would just make another map as we went out this time? That seems like a logical thing to do, yes?
It does seem like a very logical thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good point. Yeah, that's the story we're going with.
And if he catches us lying,
I'm gonna look
Well-
at Frisia and say, well, I don't think he's gonna do that, right?
I hope not.
And confidence wanes.
I'm obviously terrible at lying.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You guys have caught Frisia lying a couple of times. I don't know
Maybe
what.
because you wear your Harper pin on your clothes so everyone can see it.
No, it's on my hurdy-gurdy.
Fair enough. May as well be your clothing.
I mean, ultimately, even if he does assume we have the map, it's our map. There's no means he possesses in which he can take it from us. Aside from force, which I'm assuming a political figure such as himself would not do, in broad view of so many witnesses in the middle of a bay. Right?
We didn't strike a deal.
Well, it's not really a lot of witnesses except for our crew and his crew. Because we are in the middle of a bay.
River Mist is licking her paw and like pushing her hair back. He's almost here. He's almost here. And the ship is like, it's just coming right up on you guys. It's not gonna like smash Indian or anything, but it is real close. Those big red sails get bigger on the horizon as not even the horizon. They're not. It's you can see it in the water. Those sails get bigger and bigger, and the sheer size of this ship dwarfs yours by quite a lot. It's a big old boat, guys. It's like, I would say it's the equivalent of like having a yacht, and then having like almost a freighter roll up on your yacht kind of situation. It's probably 3 to 4 times bigger than the boat you guys are rolling with.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the ship. We'll see the ship come. Like it's almost there. Any like final like. All right, this is the plan. Everybody, shut up. Like, is there any last words?
We're going with the bank plan. Let me do the talking.
That would be preferable. Let the talker do the talking.
River Mist will say, "Okay, all right. Unless I am addressed as captain of the ship, you may speak."
You know, I mean, maybe downstairs there might be something the captain might have to do.
No, captains should usually be on the boat, but I am the employer of the ship.
So, if that is the last couple words said by the party, you all witness as this massive ship begins to slow. The huge foam of the water like bursting up on either side of it, just sort of cutting through the water, begins to lower down, the sails becoming less full. As it's probably about 300 feet out from you, it comes to a steady pace, but it's more of just, it's coming into that sort of slow drift situation as it rolls up probably 50 feet off your port side, or off your port side, off the left side of the ship. As it rolls its way up, you hear you can just sort of, what you hear, first of all, the wave hits the side of the ship as it comes up, like the sheer like pushed force. You can feel your ship begin to bob just being in this close of proximity to this largest ship. As it goes by, the shadow of the sun hits your ship and is completely covered within it. You can hear the iron creaking within, the sounds of the wind filling the massive red cloth that forms each sail. You can hear the crew on board. You see tens of dozens of men moving across the ship doing who knows what. You see some of them in armor, others in more like lighter ship gear. Then they're moving about. You see some on the wiring. It is fully activated, fully going. You see men all over this fully armed galleon, 3 tiers of closed, mind you, portholes that you imagine could each be filled with a massive cannon are closed at your side. This massive show of power, this ship coming up to the side of you, you can't help but, I mean, I would feel small if I were sitting here looking up at this thing. And as it makes its way up, when it was about 300 feet out, it blew 2 horns, just a burn, burn, and they echoed out as it came in, and it comes into a drift, and then we hear all that stuff I just described. As the ship is passing you, you're just sort of watching it. It's like seeing like it's not like a city on, it's not that so much that's a city, but it's just like so much of this ship is passing you all at once. I'm going to change the music up to our Baldur's Gate music. From way back when we created our characters. From the days ago. Alright, cool. You hear a shout come from over the top of the ship, the very back. Ahoy! Good morning! And you look to see where the sound is coming from, and you see a single individual who seems to dwarf others around him. A large, very, very large, armored man, fully suited in a bright red cape, as bright red as his sails. Fine day this morning. How are the seas treating you?
Quite well. Thank you for the escort out to Agmar.
And a look, he'll say, and you hear a laugh come from the other side, say, well, perhaps it will be so. You seem the cheersome sort. This wouldn't happen to be the... And then you see some illusory script show up in front of him. You spot it, the magic. Mako's Bite, would it? At which point you can hear River Mist. She's super nervous. She totally breaks the I only talk. She says, yes, yes, this is the Mako's Bite. I am the captain, River Mist. Says, hail, Captain. Sigil Jackbrass is my name. I guess I am a captain of sorts as well. And
Warder's probably a little bit wide-eyed.
Now, this shouting is going to start to get quite obnoxious. May I board your ship, Captain? And she just looks to you, Freesia, like, oh crap, I talked when I wasn't supposed to.
Well, of course he can board our ship.
Excellent. I'll be right over. Yeah, it takes about a minute. He heads down, and you see him talking to some officers, and he hands them something, and make a perception check. Anybody on board? Because they're like 3 tiers up. You're like looking up. See if anybody can spot what he's handing one of his officers.
While he's moving, Valfine is going to sink behind War slightly.
Are you still on that perception check, or are you giving it up?
I got a dirty 20.
I'll roll the perception. I'll roll that perception. It ain't gonna be good, but I'll roll it.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not bad.
Very nice. I think we just need an Alexandria one, unless you're foregoing it.
There's no. She's tiny. She's not able to see that.
I got you. You see him hand off those who got a 20. I believe nobody else got quite. Yeah, the two, Brolin and Valfine. You see him unstrap the weapon around his waist, a great sword that he wears like a long sword, and he hands it off to one of his officers.
Oh my god.
And he starts to climb over the side of the ship and down a ladder, a metal and rope and chain roped ladder. And he steps down into the 50-foot space below. There's no ship. You don't see him lower himself down to his ship. And he steps onto the water and does not sink. He walks over the water to your boat.
Do either Brolin or Valpine make a point out that he took his sword off?
I'll whisper it to War behind his back.
With that, War will put his weapon away. He'll hang it, at least.
All right, we see him reach the side of the ship. He steps over, and River Mist is over the side, just aghast that she's looking at Sigil Jackbrass approach her ship. And he steps up to the ship. And his head is almost as close to the top of the deck. He's a big guy. And he'll say, I am quite tall, but I could use a ladder. Could you throw one down, please? Who throws down?
Almost up to the side?
Almost up to the side. Who throws down the ladder for Sigil Jackbrass?
Brolin will do it. Brolin's intimidated. He's a little intimidated.
Or I'll offer him a hand, too.
Okay. He'll take your hand. I think we see... So far, we've never gotten a look. Every single shot in this scene has not shown him above his shoulder. We've only seen his face. It's been like articulately placed to like look at him from behind in his helm. And we see Brolin let down the ladder and War walk up from behind him, and the boat lists just a little bit over to the side as he steps onto this ladder. You can hear the wooden ropes just sort of they just twist a little bit under the weight, and we see that metal gauntleted hand slap across War's equally large turtle palm as he grasps your hand. Thank you, and lifts his way up onto the deck, and he puts 2 big old metal boots, clunk, clunk, onto the deck. And our shot starts right on those boots, which are a little bit wet, and we can see the end of his red cape, which has also caught a little bit of water, which is wet, dripping a small puddle below him. I'm going to put Sigil Jackbrass on the deck. Here. Get his character. Clink. Alright. I'm imagining he is right at the helm. Is where he's getting lifted up, since that's where you guys are. Brolin and War, you guys are right there. I'm gonna move y'all a little bit around.
Good, a healthy spell throwing distance away.
Spell throwing distance away. And we start to rise up. And as we get higher and higher, we finally come to the face of this individual. I think if I shift Command Z, you guys can see this. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
You see this. You see this helm. These glowing eyes, which don't glow so bright because you are in the day, but because you're being eclipsed by Baldur's pride, you can see the light come from his eyes. He stands just right at War's height, just about War's height. War is big. He's one of the biggest. He's probably one of the biggest people you've ever been around, and he's almost equal with War. Maybe if you measured him up, War might have a slight half-inch over him.
War slouches, though.
War does slouch. If he stood all the way up, he'd be taller than Sigil Jackbrass. And as he steps up he has your hand already. He'll put out his other hand to shake yours, War.
He'll shake it and he'll say, "Welcome to the ship."
Welcome indeed. Welcome indeed. And he looks over to Brolin. He says, "Thank you for the ladder." He'll put a hand out to you as well. Sigil Jackbrass, good to meet you.
Brolin Fireforge.
Brolin Fireforge. Good to know. And he'll look to you, War, expecting you to introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm War. Nice to meet you.
And you are War. Excellent. And he looks over, because the only people that are sort of here in this moment right now, Freesia might step... Oh yeah, Freesia's gonna step up here, step over to, says, "And you are the captain, yes?" And, oh no, Freesia kicks fucking River Mist out of the way. Oh. Hello. And you are? Oh,
Freesia Anastasia Luxfer, the 4th.
The 4th. That is quite the name. Sigil Jackbrass, Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate, Fire Marshal of the Flaming Fist. Not Fire Marshal. Why did I say Fire Marshal? Marshal. I'm the Fire Marshal of the Flaming Fist. Don't worry. I make sure there aren't any fires on my boat. He is this is Marshal of the Flaming Fist and friend to all peace-loving folk. And he'll shake your hand. "I'm not the 4th of anything, though, unfortunately. Good name." And he'll say, "And you are the captain." At which point he looks over to River Mist, who's just still... "Yes, I am River Mist." She's looking around to make sure her brother Flask isn't around. "Just River Mist. This is my ship. Welcome aboard, Sigil Jackbrass." She can't get the words quite out. To what do we owe your visit?" He'll just look and he'll say, "Well, I am a man of business, so I imagine that we can talk about it in a moment, yes? Let's take a quick look at gander at this boat, shall we? I remember when I used to sail in a ship like this." He's gonna step down. "No, you don't mind if I take a look around, do you? Just this deck, of course, with your permission." River Mist is kind of looking to you guys like, "I don't know what to do."
War just nods.
Sure. I'll even give you the tour.
Oh, excellent. Please, please. Show me around. Free share, was it? Yes. Yeah, you can show him around the ship. He sees some sailors, and when some of them look like, all of them look like really scared, when one's brave enough to like step out, he'll stop, shake his hands like, "And your name, sailor?" And he'll ask him the name. It's like, "And what brings you on this expedition today?" Just trying to make some money, sir. And he says, "Of course, good, honest work."
Wait, do any of them mention the kids thing?
What kids thing? Oh, the kids thing. Oh,
that's why the crew's here.
Oh, that's why the crew's here. Says, "Oh, brought out here. I owe the owners, I think, of this ship a great debt." And says, "Repaying
a name, do we?
Repaying a debt. That is also noble work. Good on you. Good on you." He steps down and just sort of, it's almost like he's reviewing the troop situation. This isn't even his fucking boat.
Yeah.
He says, "May I see the bow?"
Sure, let's go up to the bow.
All right,
And
yeah.
I take him around the Alexandria side, so Valpine has time to slink back down to the other.
He'll
Yes, she will.
Make a
she
stealth
will
check.
Do so. I'm going to make a stealth check.
make a stealth check, my friend. Let me get this character sheet up.
Whoo!
What do we get?
21.
21.
Just gonna kind of slink through the crowd, make it to the opposite side of the group of people.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Not like ducking under the deck or anything, but doing the whole Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you
know.
duck under the deck. He'll spot more sailors, but it's easy enough to spot Alexandria sticking out of the crowd. And who is this? Looking to you, Alexandria.
She doesn't say anything.
And yeah, make a oh, does Frisha, do you say anything? What do you say?
Yeah, I said she's very shy. It's
She's got her hands tucked into the robes of her, into the sleeves of her robes.
Are you
leaning up on the mast?
Are you just looking at him?
She's kind of just staring off into space at the sea. So she doesn't even really notice that he's talking to her.
All right, he'll turn away from you if you don't immediately address him. He says, "Understandable. I have many soldiers who are the same way. Come, let us explore, perhaps. Well, you know what? No need to explore the below deck. No, not yet. Perhaps in a moment." And he'll say, "Take me back to the helm, will you?"
yeah. Brisha leads them back to the helm. Coincidentally, while she was up on the bow, she was actually walking on the railing, so she was at the same height as him because she's real short.
Yeah. He like touches everything. So like he puts his hand on the varnished railings as he makes his way up. Kind of looks at what kind of dust he picks up and everything, and he'll look. He says, "This is a pretty well in order ship, River. You should be quite proud of your vessel. It's fine to see such things on the sea." He says, "I imagine," he points over to Baldur's Pride, "I imagine it is lost on me now. I barely feel the waves or the mist upon my ship. Maybe one day I will get something like this for myself. Perhaps a private ship. A thought to store away for later." He says,
Well, a duke should have a private ship like this. A pleasure craft.
Pleasure craft indeed, but something so quaint, people would talk. Maybe someday." He says, "Well, I did so enjoy that. Thank you so much for humoring me. I super appreciate it. Now, the reason that I'm here. The reason that I am sorry, by the way. I can't help the size of my ship. It must have seemed quite intimidating with us coming at you at such speed. You were quite fast there for a moment. I thought I wouldn't be able to catch you. But
Well, we are trying to get on our voyage quickly.
And look and just say, understandable, of course. And I just simply needed to talk. That is what I'm here for, is to talk. We should get down to business. Do we want to speak in a private chamber or up here in the open?
I've always been a fan of the breeze in my face.
Me as well. So, you came through our blockade. Went quite fast, actually. I'm surprised that you made it past inspection so quickly. You must have... Looks over to one of you. He doesn't exactly stare at River Mist. He's kind of like sweating bullets through that first. One of you must have good connections. I appreciate that kind of attentiveness. Says... Well, I received the name of your ship after you had taken off, along with members of your crew on the charter, and you have 5 adventurers as well aboard this ship, each with their own individual license. And he brings up some illusory script. He says, 1 Valfine, Arisus, 1 Alexandria Walker, 1 War. Looking over, he'll look over to the ones he knows the name of. 1 Brolin Fireforge, and 1 Freesia. What was your last name?
Larkspur.
Larkspur.
Freesia Anastasia Larkspur the 4th.
He like moves the illusionary script. Ah, yes, there's the rest of it. He'll just say, I couldn't help but notice we have a connection. Me and these 5 adventurers, of which I can spot 3 now. I'm assuming that there are 2 more on this ship somewhere. Unless you lost someone that quickly. I mean, it's only been a few moments since you've passed through my blockade. We have a connection. We are friends in grieving. I believe you all knew an individual by the name of Samuel Dren.
Can't say that I've had the pleasure.
So he says, yours was the one name I did not quite recognize. And he'll say at least 4, but you being an adventuring license as well, I assumed, and I apologize if I assumed wrong, that you were with them as well.
Well, a bard needs a good story, so I'm following some adventurers around.
Of course. And I just want to confirm. You did know Samuel Dren?
Yes.
Yeah, we knew him.
Freesia joined us after he passed.
Yes. I heard
Sad
the
to
news
see him
about
go.
it. Me as well.
Sorry.
I heard his passing about 10 days ago. I regret that I could not attend his funeral. I am not allowed inside of Port Ninezaru as per my agreement with the port. Unfortunately. How was it? Was he put to rest properly?
And Wakanga would have had that, right?
Yes, he had it at the Temple of Timora.
Right. Or definitely would have went to that.
Yeah,
Like,
Roland would have went to it.
we didn't touch on that during our 10 days.
Yeah, I think we all would have been. I mean, you know, we wouldn't have been here if he hadn't invited everyone, right? So.
Yeah. He'll ask the same question he posed before. How was his? What was his? Like any details on his? I was only able to receive some minor details. I know not exactly how he died. I know that he was suffering from a disease.
Yes, the death curse.
That's right. I recall it now very clearly. And he'll say, I will admit my reasoning for being here, and I'm sure most of you have assumed, I know who I am, I'm no fool, is absolute business. I have had a correspondence with Samuel for some time. He has informed me that you have my map.
I was under the impression it was his map.
Say, Samuel Dren. Look, he'll say, no, my friends, that is a map made by, well, paid for by me. Do you have it with you?
We didn't want to bring something that expensive along with us. So we left it in the temple of what's the bank?
Joachim, I think.
Joachim.
Make a deception check, and he will make an insight check.
Come on, Frisha.
Ooh, yeah.
That's really tasty. He would have to do real good here.
He's just 30. Yeah, he would have to do really good.
35.
Alright.
You got a plus 15 or something.
No, it's not actually correct here. I didn't update it. Okay. It's supposed to be as much as that. Okay. Just gonna roll it flat because I didn't put the updated version in here.
This is Ed fudging the numbers for the narrative.
Nope. No. It's not that crazy. He's just supposed to have more than this because I hadn't finished I had to build Sigil Jackbrass at work. Give me a break.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. No.
Of course.
He'll look and he'll say, "Oh, that is surprising. I would imagine that you would have it on you. It was quite a expensive item, but smart of you to keep it in the port. It cost a lot of money to make it. It was a favor for my friend Samuel to make it for him. He had become obsessed with Chult for quite a while, and it seems now I tend to share that curse. For whatever reason. And he'll say, but good to hear that you have it well kept. I imagine that you are using it, though, right?
How good of an illusion of the map can I make on the fly, do you think?
Pretty good. I mean, you were in the map room a couple times. You can make an intelligence check to see how good it could be.
I'm pretending like I memorized the map is the goal.
Okay.
It's going to be obviously illusion because I'm sparkly.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. You're able to recall it quite well. He'll say, that is the one. And look at it and says, though it seems to be in the same state that Samuel and I had gotten it to during its time of creation. It seems as though it hasn't grown. That's a little disappointing. Though I'm also aware that all of you took to the jungle recently, as per Samuel's request. So I imagine there must be more to chart here.
Or we'll point out, like, the area that they did, because it's probably just didn't notice that it got cleared up.
I imagine that is quite deep. Deeper than Samuel and I ever got. He'll look and he'll say, I wonder what it is you found there. Of course, that is your information, and information is worth as much as gold. I imagine that perhaps, maybe I will be able to learn that information from you, given the right circumstance, but maybe another time. Say, Samuel Dren had made it clear to me that you would all be in need of a ship, in need of a crew, in need of the capability to mount another expedition. He sent me a final letter, the last one I ever received from him. And he thinks about that for a moment. You can't see that he's completely helmed. He'll say, excuse me, this has been rude of me. And he puts his hand on the helm, and you watch him. He like lets go of like some belts, some buckles, and he takes it off. And as he lifts it off, we see the shadow come over his head, and we see the very human face of Sigil Jackbrass. I'm gonna change his token up. Alright. Believe it was... Oh, it's not L. Yeah, it's just Z. This is what Sigil Jackbrass looks like.
Okay.
You see that he is a grizzled older man with a square jaw, gray hair with a single silver streak through one side, and scars riddling his brow. He looks as though he's seen some shit, but still has a level of youth within him, vigor and strength within him as well. And he takes it off, and he says, "Sometimes I just forget I even have it on. A very powerful magical item. One that took me a while to procure, but worth it. Allows me to see in the dark, and more." At which point he hinges it to the side of his belt and lets it hang on the side. And he lets his hair kind of go through and lets the mist. Says, "Ah, that feels quite good. Never get too much opportunity to relax. Really should." He says, "Anyway, Sigil Jack Brass had made it clear to me that you would need these things, but," and he looks around, "it would seem as though you had procured them yourself. I couldn't help but feel a little cheated. You never gave me a chance. Well, unless, of course, you were heading to Fort Bellaquin. At which point, it's good that I caught you."
We were able to do 2 good deeds. And at the same time, procure the ship that we needed.
A fine ship it is. He looks over to River Mist. He says, "How far have you taken this boat before? What was it again? What was its name? Mako's Bite. That's right." She says, "Oh, furthest I've made before in the ship. We've gone almost to Halula. It was quite a journey." And he'll just look and he'll say, "Any dangers along the way?" "Well, of course. The odd storm, having to avoid pirates. It is a long journey. Some possibly
A giant turtle. It's common though.
Obviously, Armeg. We manage." He'll look and he'll say, The talks that I had with Sigil Jack." He looks at the boat and he says, "It is quite fine." And he grips his hand as tight as he can on the railing, and he busts a piece of the railing off and throws it into the sea. "But very fragile." And he'll say, "Apologies. I will pay for that." And he'll step up to you and he says, "Excuse me for the dramatic presentation, but I just want to make clear to you the risk that you are taking." He looks around and says, "I do wish we were having this conversation in private, but in the open it is, if that's how you'll have it. I know that Samuel was looking for something. I know that he employed you to find it. I think you did. I don't have any way to prove it. But I worry. Chult is a land of chaos. It is filled with monsters, and civilization holds on by a thread. In a tiny little place. And nowhere else. Except where I put my feet on the ground. You are searching for something in Chult. I don't know what it is. But I want to help you find it." Says, "Go ahead."
And why would you want to help us find something you don't know what we're looking for?
Well, because that is why I'm here. Chult is a land that was once a great empire. He looks back, sort of dramatically, towards the land. This is his scene. Says, "It was almost unrivaled for a time. Trade was booming. Cities burst out of the land in all kinds of places. There were roads once. They were even close to some powers and technologies that are probably lost now to time. There is much buried here. And we have only been here but a few months and found so much already. I no longer have Samuel's map, but I know that what little we found was phenomenal. And I want to find more. I want to take this place and make it what it once was. Every step contributes. You are searching for ruins or lost anything. I'm not sure what it is. There are many here, and there's not much else to search for. You're in Chult, after all. Whether it is a treasure lost deep below the earth, or an ancient tree that once provided health and immortality to all those who stood near it, whether it be an ancient dwarven hold, its riches lost below, protected maybe even now by a dragon. And he says, this is a land of adventure. It calls to people like you. And I like to help adventurers. That is the purpose of my company. To make peace where there is chaos. By using the vigor and the enthusiasm of adventurous souls. Look upon my ship. Each person you see is an adventurer, much like yourselves in one way or another. At least that's what they have dreams of. I want to aid you. So he looks at the ship, he says, nothing against your very beautiful, quaint boat, looking at River, he says, but I could offer you much better protection than this. I could offer you a galleon. I could offer you a crew, skilled to precision like a knife. I could offer you an expedition party to keep you safe, safer at least. I can offer you my resources in many ways. If only you would allow me to help you. Let me make this clear. I am not forcing this upon you. I know my big ship and my obviously intimidating presence may allude to that, but you have every choice in the world. I am simply trying to help those who are going along the same path as I. A path to a better Chult.
Definitely appreciate it. Though I'm a fan of the smaller ship. It draws less attention.
Look, I'll say. Indeed. But what attention it does draw could be lethal. But I agree. It is a valid point to make. I can tell you, without a doubt, if you were to take one of my galleons, you would make it to any destination in Chult, or the Sword Coast, mind you, with no issue at all. You see, my banner is well respected. And my resources are quite vast. There is little that would threaten one of these ships.
You say you want to help Port Nine Zaru.
That is why I'm here. I'm doing it even now as my army keeps back the undead. And my blockade keeps others from exploiting the city in its time of need.
Well, for what it's worth, your soldiers are the reason why a bunch of kids are dead in the slums.
He looks at it, he just says, "It is quite an accusation to make. Are you calling some of my men murderers?"
No, haven't done anything like that.
Ah. So,
They sure let some kids get eaten, and worse.
you saying they watched idly by as children were eaten in front of them?
Not necessarily that.
Well, be
graphic.
clear. This is quite an accusation to make. You must understand. Brolin? Yes. You're Brolin. And it's just sort of reminding himself your name as he sort of looks through his illusionary script. He says, I keep a very tight company. And I try my best to make sure all of my soldiers are well trained. The situation you're talking about sounds as if and I'm sorry if I'm assuming, some children got themselves killed. And my soldiers are to blame simply because, and this happens quite commonly in places that I end up being paid to occupy, because my soldiers didn't do something about it. It is funny when you help a place. Tends to be that instead of leaning on your shoulder, they want to be carried on your back. If some children died in Port Nyanzaru or in one of the outer districts, my grief goes out to them. You can see that these other Chultans on deck whose kids literally died are holding back any kind of emotion to just be so pissed to say anything. And he'll say, unfortunately, the Chultan situation is a poor one, and I'm very aware of it. But I'm not being paid to help the poor. I'm being paid to keep a city alive. And that is what I'm doing in Chult. What I'm being paid to do. If the people of Chult suffer, it is not because of me or my men. It is because of the princes of Port Nyanzaru and their rule. They should think a little bit better about those they keep outside of their gates. Do you think for one moment that I am the reason that the poor cannot enter inside of Port Nyanzaru? The Flaming Fist do not guard those gates. We keep but watch. But they are free to pass. It is Chultans that keep Chultans out. Do you know the history of this place? As I said before, it was an empire. Do you know how it got to be what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. Will you give me the chance to regale it myself?
By all means.
Yes.
Brolin, he's not scowling at him, but he's like, you're throwing some logic at me, and I can't exactly.
It's a lot to say. He's got a point.
I would like to hear the tale.
Says, as I said before, the Empire of Chult was great, vast, even, unrivaled in the southern coast. Do you want to know what destroyed such a great empire? No army, no invaders. It was themselves. They killed each other. Chult swallowed itself whole because they let chaos rule them. They depended.
How so?
They put all their stock in a god, one that abandoned them. The Flaming Fist does not make such a mistake. After he left, they warred with each other. He left because they warred with each other. It only got worse. These people, their state. It is their fault, not mine. It's at this point that one of these individuals on deck, I'm gonna roll will save to see if they try to fucking come at him.
Jesus Christ.
Can Brolin give him advantage?
Who
What?
should? Who? Oh, one of them to come at him
No, can I give him advantage to not freak out?
to not freak out. Yeah. I'll give. So you're giving him disadvantage, I think, to make him roll lower. So he does. Oh, advantage, so he rolls higher. So it's just a commoner. So we're hoping for a high roll above 10 to not freak out. All right, just got it. You just hold one back. There is another. Does somebody? What do you do, Brolin?
I got the belt of giant strength on, and it's probably like a mother who's probably just like trembling with anger, and he just pushes her back, just like it's okay, let him continue his story. It's all right, go down below. Go down below.
This other run's gonna roll. Does anybody do anything about this, or are you guys letting them roll normal? It would be Freesha or War.
Or would probably he'll stop anybody from trying to like approach him.
Okay, we'll do 2. Yeah, you're able to stop both of these individuals. You kind of escort them off, and he says, "The reason why I wanted to have this conversation in private." And he'll, as they pass, say, "I do apologize. I do apologize." And as they're sort of ushered off of this area, out of the way, the rest of these Chultans down here can't exactly hear this conversation. So this has become a little more private. He'll look about and says, "As I said before, their state is their own fault. I am simply here to try to correct what is wrong. My goal in Chult." And he looks and he says, "Now that it's only us. My goal in Chult is to find a certain place. A specific place. I want to see the Empire of Chult rise again. I have someone who can do that. But I am not going to give you any details. With safety, of course. But I need something more than just this person. I need a throne to put them in. That throne does not lie in Port Nyanzaru. I thought it lied in Mesro. It doesn't. It lies in a place called Omel. That is what I search for. I don't know what you search for. Nor do I need to know. I simply put my faith in others who search this land. I want to help you. It seems as though, looking over to Frisius, you are not in need of a ship. But do note that I could provide you one.
Well, then we would take away from your searching as well.
He puts a hand out to the blockade, and he's like, "I have
then who
many.
would protect? Then who would protect the port?"
There are at least a dozen ships on that horizon. I am more than willing to put one towards the expedition of..." And he looks and says, "What's supposed to be 5 adventurers aboard this ship who were once employed by a dear friend of mine. I trusted in Samuel's faith, and I think I can channel some of that to put some of my faith into you." Is Kyle sleeping?
No.
Oh, who's snoring? I'm hearing someone breathe. I don't know what it is. I thought I heard someone snoring. It's all good.
No,
Nope.
Okay, we're good. It might be me hearing myself, honestly. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I was like, who's asleep? I'm sorry, Single Check presses. I mean, that's the character. I can't do anything about what the character is.
He's not. He's freaking intimidating.
So, you hope to do what with Omu? Bring it back?
Someday, yes. Everything takes its first steps and makes its way up till it becomes what it is. Everything starts somewhere. And my quest here, my real reason for being here, is to find the lost capital of Chult and make it what it once was. To bring order back to a place of chaos.
Unfortunately, we're just off to find the turtle homeland.
And he'll go, "Well, the turtle homeland. I hadn't mentioned anything. But, speaking of which, you are only the second turtle I have met in this life war. It is an honor to meet you, if I didn't express that well enough before." Says,
You've
Go
met
ahead.
another?
"There is a guide in Fort Beloquin, who is also a turtle. One that was for a time under my employ, but I believe works independently now.
I had heard a rumor.
It is true.
I've never met another of my kind, other than my mother.
Well, then perhaps Fort Beloquin is your next destination, which would work out quite well in your favor if I were to outfit this expedition in a real ship with a real crew and real resources. Which point River Mist wants to, like, protest, but is just like, I don't want to be any deeper into this shit. If they're going to go, then that's good for me. And they'll say, perhaps if we were to have your entire party, you could put it to a vote. Decide if you want the help of someone who can actually help you, rather than to wander the jungles with the coin of a pocket of a dying man, who I respected and loved dearly.
Loved him enough to put. No, never mind. I can't say that because I don't know Samuel's backstory with that.
Not at all, in fact.
Not at all. He can't say. I want to say something.
There is a decent chance Frisian knows more about his backstory than you do.
Yeah, you're right. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
At this point, yeah, probably.
You worked for
You
one...
didn't-
Go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything.
You worked for one patron before, what is another? It's not as if I'm asking you to conscript with my mercenary guild, of course, unless you want to. At which point I would not protest. You have all shown quite a lot of promise, at least from what Samuel did tell me.
Yeah, then it would be an order and not a request.
Do you roll up?
No.
No, you just...
Just quips.
just go.
It's been a while. Figured I'd treat you guys to some quips.
I know.
Quips.
Are you gonna throw some sass this guy's way, Kyle?
I've been waiting to see if Valphine and Alexandria enter this conversation, but it seems like you guys want to be out of it.
Valphine is not entering this. Like, under her hood, she's sweating bullets. Nope.
Perhaps I make it easier. You are making your way out to the Bay of Chult. Perhaps we escort you there, as your friend suggested before. He points over Frisia. And it says, we escort you out towards the Bay of Chult. Maybe get you past Armag. Wouldn't that be nice? And he just says, and maybe we get just before him. I mean, we can do it however you want. We have dinner aboard my ship. You eat in luxury. We talk about the future. What prospects you might have. Where it is exactly that this Turtle Island might be. I might be able to provide some resources for you as well. It is and has been an interest of mine what happened to one of the many lost races of Chult. Unfortunately, he looks over to Brolin and he says, that same doom is being prevented day by day for your dwarven kind, the albino dwarves. I'm glad to see that that race is still living, as I am for most of the peaceful races. What do you say? Dinner aboard my ship, an escort through these waters? No commitment.
Oh, he's a charmer.
At which point, when we reach that way, we have dinner, we eat. You decide whether or not you want to take one course or the other, and you go about your way, either working for me or not.
Oh, that sounds okay, I guess.
Don't think it would hurt.
No, it wouldn't. And a good meal is perfect before taking off on a big expedition, let me tell you. It will be good for you. Whether you have my help or not, at the very least, let me feed you. Then it is decided, then, since the three of you are the only ones who wish to speak for your party, and River Mist, you seem utterly afraid of me. says, no, I'm not afraid of you. Sigil Jackbrass is just very, and she just stops and says, don't worry, it's fine. We will have the luxury of being escorted, and if I do manage to buy these individuals off of you, not to say your property to own, of course, just a form of expression, if I'm able to convince these individuals to take a better path, then note that whatever they were going to pay you, I will double. And you may make your way back to port and do whatever it is that you are going to continue to do. And her eyes widen and she says, do you want them now or you continue?
Jesus.
Ah, our captain was so easily bought.
Sold off. That's it.
You barely know her.
I've been hanging out with her all week.
And then this happened, and then this happened. She looked to you, she's like, Felicia, I didn't know that this was going to happen. She'll say, excellent. Well, seems as though I have a ship to command. We will, we'll be in your wake. Make your way, as long as you stop before Armag, I may be able to help you with that as well. Perhaps free of charge. And, until, you'll say, by then it'll almost be nighttime, so when the sun sets, we should make anchor. I would highly suggest we make our way to Fort Beloquin itself, but if that makes any of you uncomfortable, and I imagine it very well could, being in a fort that I own with a ship next to you, I can see the situation being tense. Let's keep it casual, shall we? I will be in your wake. Let's make our way through the Bay of Chult. Excellent. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I will see you this evening. And he kind of, like, goes to, like, part, says, may I, excuse me, at which point he starts to make his way through. Does anyone have anything, like, left to say to him before he steps off the boat?
Nope.
Brolin is pondering his words.
Alright.
About,
Frisha is saying how nice it was to finally meet a duke.
And he says, and how nice it was to finally meet another bard. What music do you play? Finally meet a duke. Okay. Alright. Yeah, you say this.
Well, recently I've been doing more of the epic tales.
Well, it was very nice to see you as well.
This is getting dicey.
And he steps off the boat and onto the water. Kink! And he walks his way across, and he climbs back onto his ship. At which point you are all left once again to the sea. River Mist will immediately snap out of her sort of pause, just say, lift the anchor, let's get these sails moving, just as Mr. Jackbrass said. And she'll look to you, Fisher, and says, we need to talk.
That was definitely in the top 5 most powerful people I've met.
But it was my top 1! Alright, number 1!
Yeah, he was pretty tough. He didn't even. I don't even think he needed a weapon to deal with us.
It takes your ship probably gets about 500 feet out before, probably more like 1,000 feet out before the Baldur's Pride starts following behind you guys in the wake. At a steady speed, keeping right with you. It's red sails, always on the back of the ship, always visible. You guys have a day.
I think that went well, and I point out to Valfine that she should probably mage hand that chunk of boat back in and put it back in place.
Can we even see that?
I really hope he pays for that.
Is it even visible in the water?
Make a perception check.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see. It's out there a ways. Like before you catch it, it's out of the range of it. It's floating away. It's a piece of driftwood. You know, the ship's already starting to move. River Mist. I think River Mist will just be like, he doesn't even have to pay for it. It's fine. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's just moving the ship forward. And yeah, she wants to talk to you. She's like, Felicia, you and I are going to talk before whatever kind of pleasantries you enjoy above that ship. Was I invited to that, or was that you? I don't even...
Well, you are the captain of this ship.
I am, right? I am the captain of this ship, right? Last I checked.
Yes.
Say, let me just give me a few moments to calm down. I'll talk to you in about an hour. Go discuss whatever you need to discuss.
What are we?
And everyone's like,
What are we discussing?
Felicia brings up the point that I think that went exactly according to plan.
Sure.
To his, maybe.
I mean, we're not dead.
Did Alexandria and Valfian hear the whole conversation?
They can, if they want. If you guys wanted to, like if not, you guys can fill in, and we can say that was filled in.
bits and pieces, yeah. I mean,
No, she heard it. She was listening through her owl.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. And then we could assume that Valfian was like in there, kind of close, but like
bro, I have passive AT.
probably down here situation.
Yeah, kind of hanging,
Yeah,
hang down there. Yeah,
absolutely.
down there.
It's completely up to you guys. The only thing I have is I'm gonna have River talk to Freesia.
Oh, also, my deception was less of it was nice to meet him and more of that I had never talked to a Duke before.
Yeah.
His role was probably something similar. Like, it's nice to meet another bard. He doesn't care.
Just throws a 12 into the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, he came aboard. He was threatening in his presence, but he made no threatening moves outside of ripping off a piece of the railing.
As if it were a piece of tinfoil.
Yeah.
He did just sort of crush it. But war
Yeah.
can do that too, so it's not...
Yeah.
Oh, war is war. That's pretty intimidating. I'd still be
I just had
scared.
a little headcanon of like going up to that like spot right next to it and just trying it.
Could you not? I would like to keep my railing. You guys can discuss in private. There is a private room down below that is open for you guys to discuss. River will give you that room.
Okay, that's probably smart.
I guess.
So are we doing this? Does anybody actually want to take him up on that offer?
I mean, all right, let's go down in the below deck.
Everyone below
I thought
deck.
we were already in the private room.
You're all in the private room.
Everyone below deck. Go.
I mean, this Rosin Sea guy, he's got those snake people after us, right?
Presumably.
I mean, we could use the extra muscle. I mean, it's definitely a Listen, I don't like the Flaming Fist. I don't know. I don't like what they're doing to port. I don't like what they're doing to Chult. But I mean, in face of what's going on in Chult, I can't say they'd be a bad thing. I mean, anything's worse than that thing.
Make no mistake, if he comes with us, he will find Omen. And whatever plans he has, get to the next stage. Which probably means a different Chult. Entirely. And since we know where Ohm is, it's going to be fairly covered by him, if that's the case.
I honestly don't know. I don't know how. I know Omu. You know as much as I do with Omu. I don't know how special. I mean, finding the old capital. I mean, that'd be pretty big news for everybody.
And he plans to restore it.
Was it Mesro, the old capital?
Mm-mm. Well, maybe a really long time ago, but the actual capital has always been Omu. It's lost. It's considered... Mesro would have been considered a capital for a while because Omu is more of a legend than anything. But in the legend, Omu's the capital. Like, I mean, Sigil Jackbrass just... He said he made the same assumption. I thought it was in Mesro. It's not.
Yep.
Which also tells you the Flaming Fist had been to Mesro.
Yep.
Well, they made a map about it.
They did.
If he's to believe, be to believe that he made the map.
You don't know. Who's lying? Is it Samuel Dren or is it Sigil Jackbrass?
Maybe it's both.
They both have their story, yeah.
We can only ask one of them.
Oh, okay.
Man. Our boy.
War will probably pull out the letter between Samuel and Sigil Jackbrass and kind of read over it again. And he'll say, it seems that thing he said really kind of aligns with this. The phrasing I believe that Samuel used was, I have what you want.
He just said, I have what you want. Are they there?
Yeah.
Samuel said that you guys would be needing a ship and that you have what he wants.
Yeah.
Fucking Samuel Dren.
I mean, listen. If I had to choose between fixing the death curse and stopping whatever's going on and... or, you know, Sigil Jackbrass controlling Chult, I'd rather deal with the death curse. I'd rather stop the undead. As much as it sucks.
Well, the best place for him to deal with civilization is at civilization, so maybe he should just slowly expand through Chult.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
Well, I'm not sure that's possible to happen.
Well, he's more than willing to throw whatever he needs to at the situation. I don't know how many men he's willing to lose to the jungle.
Probably quite a bit. Brolin like strokes his beard a little bit. He says, I don't know, Alexandria, what do you think? I mean, he's willing to give us stuff. I mean, why not use it?
The alliance of a lord always comes with a hefty price, whether they advertise it or not.
Well, yeah, that map.
Yeah, it's not gonna be just the map.
Roland has obviously never dealt with lords before. Princes don't count.
What else does he want?
I don't know him well enough to make any assumptions, but considering he owns an entire city, if he wanted to just happily sit away and lord all the rest of his life, he could have done that happily where he was. So he obviously wants something here. Something that doesn't belong to him.
From what I gather, he wants the world in order.
And the world is not able to accomplish that on its own? People can't look after themselves?
Chult
Well-
is his example.
Not that type of order.
His order, specifically.
Yes.
So not only is he a lord, but he's a delusional one as well.
Most
he
of them
seems to be doing
have
a good
been.
job.
I love Alexandria so much.
Sass is beautiful.
So good.
Yes, it's so good.
He seems to have been doing a good job of it so far for where he goes.
Oh yes, he's doing a fantastic job. He's completely taken over a city that doesn't want him there, isn't protecting the people who live there, wastes resources, and blatantly gets people killed because they don't have papers? Do I need to remind you of the 10 towns?
Yes. Yes, you too.
Oh yeah, you weren't there for that. Yeah, that's a fireball. That's a fireball to the face.
It is. Like
Oh,
because
that 10
we're on the fringes. I spent some time traveling through areas that he controlled, but there was no danger.
Perhaps on the surface. The kind of order that he makes everyone bend to always looks safe and happy on the surface. But the harder you push from above, the harder they push from below. You can't just make people obey and march to your tune, especially over considerable distances. I wonder how well his territories are faring now that the seat of their power has sailed off to another part of the world.
Well, he was confident enough to leave it.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are more than a few people who are happy he's gone and are already taking actions.
Baldur's Gate is always a great place for intrigue. Coincidentally, Frisia is actually old enough that she would have already been traveling when the Baldur's Gate incident happened.
Baldur's Gate incident. What do you call that? Baldur Gate?
Baldur Gate. Yeah, you do.
Hashtag Baldergate.
Hashtag Baldur Gate. Tweet about it.
So
I don't
the
know.
option is take his deal. We get resources that would help us accomplish our goals at the cost of him accomplishing his. Or don't do that and continue the current plan.
Current plan is good. But I can't help but be afraid that we're about to run into an army or something.
We are going to a fort, so I would imagine there is a garrison at said fort.
Well, we don't actually have to go to a
Yeah,
fort.
he said
We're
he
not
was going
actually-
to take you by
yeah.
the fort because it was too intimidating. He didn't want to take you by the fort. Unless you wanted to.
Oh, well, everybody seems so ready to get into bed with him. I figured we were going to the fort.
Don't get me wrong, my vote is no.
No. No.
The best way to deal with a person like that when they're up in your face is to be their friend. But when they're not up in your face, it is to do whatever is best for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Words.
My God.
I agree. I'm no friend of the Flaming Fist, but I don't know. It feels bad, but maybe we can use them. It's just that ship. How are we gonna outrun it?
We don't need to outrun it.
We don't need
You
to
can decline his offer.
With that ship.
We can decline his offer. Besides, how do you expect to use the Duke of Baldur's Gate without coming out missing a few limbs, perhaps?
I don't know, Velfine. You're the brain mastermind. You tell me.
I'm not the mastermind. I didn't subclass into mastermind.
Had the option and declined it.
So
You
meta.
suggested it.
Fine. Well, you're the trickster. How about you come up with a trick?
I don't need a trick to tell me we shouldn't trust Sigil Jackbrass.
Well, if I'm being entirely honest, a tool is a tool. And an effective tool is obviously the one you would use for a job.
It's also the largest.
Yes, it's large, heavy, and clumsy.
Yes.
Well,
And if it's coming with us into a jungle, God knows what could happen out there.
Well, there is also the point that sometimes the big, clumsy tool is not the right tool for the job.
The big clumsy tool makes a lot of noise.
Or it's just like nodding.
We could use them up until he no longer proved advantageous to our efforts and then discard him.
I don't
Wait.
think discarding him would be that easy at that point.
Well, certainly you don't just wake up after a full rest, have a concordance, and go, well, you know what? I think we're going to betray you now.
There's no talk of him coming himself either.
He said he was going to come with us. Did he not?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
He did not. He
So then what's
he
the
didn't say
problem?
he wasn't. He just didn't mention himself involved.
I could have sworn he said come with you at one point. Well, either way. If... So what is he giving us? Just a ship and a crew, which we already have?
Pretty much. And it's a bigger, safer ship probably, but
Safer crew.
that's the type of ship that will attract pirates.
He'd be
Or-
also, he said, giving us people, potentially an expedition escort.
Specialized
Mhm.
crew for the galleon.
And potentially help getting through our mag.
Well, I'm not against him helping with that.
Well, I don't know how I feel about that. If we're not getting him, there's not much he can give us that we can't make do without. We don't need a big fancy boat that says, shoot me. But I'm also concerned about the loyalty of the crew we have. Our captain was so excited to sell us off.
I was
So,
not expecting this much.
You also
Activity.
you did meet her today, by the way.
Yeah.
Loyalty wise, you've met this person this is like the 6th hour you've known them.
yes. So, who's to say that she isn't already eagerly in the employ of this individual anyway?
Considering he said he would pay double, there's not much of a reason for River to continue our current contract other than it's a contract.
I can appreciate that.
I mean, fact of the matter is, in order to get back into port, she's going to have to go through their blockade, which means she'll be able to tell them everything we're doing up until we get off the boat anyway. So, if Sigil Jackbrass, knowing what we're up to, is the problem, I would say he already will, whether we want him to or not. So we might as well take the bigger, healthier escort.
Though he'll only know as much as the boat knows.
Yes, so his boat will take us on this island tour, and we will depart. Go find War's place of, what, homage?
His home.
It was my home. There's not much there.
So, we'll go find that, and then when we're done, we'll go hike into the jungle where the boat can't tell where we are anymore.
How much jurisdiction over our expedition do you think he plans to have if he suddenly funds everything?
Well, I guess we're gonna have to figure that out with dinner.
Also, that plan we can also do with this boat.
It's true.
That is fair.
My point being, he's already going to know.
And I spent a week getting this boat, damn it.
Work my ass off for this. God,
My boat!
I did it.
Well, then let us just tell him that he is offering us nothing that we don't already have.
And you guys had to go and get the Lord's Alliance involved.
Yeah, I'm doing flips for that.
I still don't like it.
What, do you want us not to tell him that we don't take his offer?
I don't like the offer in the first place.
Well, I mean, what's he gonna do? This is what I'm worried about.
What isn't he going to do, Berlin?
It's...
If he funds this expedition 100%, who's to say he... Well, the boat magically sinks on the way there. He destroys his competition.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out over this lavish dinner that he was so excited and proud of himself about.
It's a very noble thing to do.
It is in alignment with what they tend to enjoy. They love to compete over dinner feasts.
Does Alexandria speak as if she has experience?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, shall we call it to a vote then?
What's the vote? Take the deal?
Yea, take the deal. Nay, we don't take the deal. And we continue on our current path.
What about nay and we vie for better rewards?
What do you have in mind?
I don't know. I am completely unaware of the breadth of his wealth or the power he can exert here, but if he's simply offering us transport, which we already have, logic dictates that there really is no need for us to take on his patronage.
Then what would we ask for?
I think we would allow him to offer up what he thinks would be worthy of our being hired. I would say a ship is the bare minimum for hiring a veteran group of adventurers to go do a thing.
Well, he's already offered us that.
Which is the bare minimum. And I think we can afford to charge just a hair more than that.
Plus, our veteran group of adventurers is going off to find the turtle homeland. How useful is that? No offense, War.
I think you overstated that one. Turtle homeland was not where I was raised.
Well, it's a turtle's homeland.
Indeed.
Any more words before we skip to a dinner scene?
Ouch.
I think we're going with nay.
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 Yeah, nay.
And nay from me.
Who's ready to eat?
Watch out, like 1 in 10 of these feasts are poisoned.
You say, who's ready to eat? We get one other scene before we walk into our dinner chambers here. Freesia, River will corner you at some point or another and say, our talk that we were supposed to have?
Oh, of course. I went and found her after like an hour once she'd calmed down.
Oh yeah, you found down below, at least in my private quarters, please. And she steps in, and as she steps in, you see, hiding in the corner of the room as she enters, you see Flask, and he's, like, under the bed, and you can see him shaking, and she's just like, "Oh, Flask, get out of here!" And she just yells and says, "Get on deck and do something! Be the quartermaster you're supposed to be! Why are you so scared? At least have some guts!" Which she just shoos him away. "Sorry, my brother is a coward." Says, "So... that whole situation. Oh my goodness. Well, let's just say I did not expect for that to happen. Why is Alexandria in this room? Get out of here. I want the other one. Freesia." Say, "You don't understand what level of stress you have put me under. Now, you have some secrets that you were keeping from me, even though it was your friends keeping secrets from you, but maybe I was keeping a couple of secrets of my own. And I don't want my secrets to be exposed. And it seems as though yours already have, so your situation seems a little bit worse than mine, and I don't want mine to get any worse. I don't know what your plan is, whether you are going to go and join the Sigil Jackbrass, which honestly I would be more akin to than you staying here. So far, you've caused me quite a bit of trouble, and you've gotten me quite close to losing a lot of... I'm not going to say it. A lot of something. I'm not going to tell you. So what are you going to do?
Really, River?
She looks at, she says, "Really what? What are you implying?"
You think they would search your boat well enough to find those holds?
She looks, she says, "If it is obvious as you being able to see it, then..." Do you know
How much skooma are you shipping?
She'll look and she'll say, "I mean, it has to be more than obvious that this is a smuggler ship, but I had paid the right people in the Flaming Fist to make sure that I wasn't searched. But now I have the leader of the Flaming Fist coming aboard my boat. It's not great."
But he doesn't care about your boat.
What are
He
you?
cares about them.
But
What are you smuggling?
You're not here, Brolin.
You're not
not
there.
I am. I am. Yes, I
It's
am.
a private room. It's a private room.
No, you're
No,
not.
you're not. No,
I'm
you're
like,
not.
Get your head cannon out of here.
Get your head, get out of here. Door closed.
Look at the map. I'm right there.
Oh God, come on.
I would have seen you because I am lurking outside of the door.
Are they both like? Are you guys all like? Is the rest of the party like making their way to the
I would have never been in the private room if that were the rule. I shouldn't move my
Kicked
toe.
me out. I just left.
I just.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I get in somehow.
I've been here the whole time. No one's seen me.
Do you? I mean, I'm not gonna stop you, Brolin. Do you bust in this room?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you do, you do. That's something you could do. You have freedom.
But I just go, hey, what's going on in there, Alexandria?
Alexandria, are you listening in?
Yes.
Make a perception check. I didn't know these things were going on.
Oh, great, Roland. You made me have to make a check.
Yeah.
I was going to get away with it just fine.
I was going to get away with it too. Yeah. Yeah, you little raptor too.
You wrapped it too.
You are just the worst.
But what? I'm asking what's going on.
Ooh, it's
Shut
Vincent.
up! I can't hear anything.
Oh, it's so good.
Why are you trying to eavesdrop on that conversation?
What does it matter to you?
You know what?
You interject yourself into everything like it's all your business.
You know what? Fine. I'm going upstairs to go talk to Valfine more. You can just keep eavesdropping on Frasier and
A
whatever.
sparkly sign on the front on the door appears that says "No eavesdropping."
Who is so yelling outside of this room? She just says, listen, okay, yes, you are right. I am a small fry. I know that. Cecil Jack Brass doesn't care that I am smuggling. I'm at least going to keep that a secret because it's all I have. That I'm smuggling something. I am sure that he doesn't even care, even if he knows, and he seems like a guy who probably knows. But I want you to understand what kind of pressure that puts on me. If you don't go with him, there's nothing stopping him from incarcerating me. And then you don't have a ship anymore. So are you going with them? Because that sounds to me like the best scenario.
She is just the worst.
Well,
She's looking out for herself, my man.
Hey, man, double paycheck. Wouldn't you be like, yeah, get out of here? I've only known you 24 hours.
Double paycheck,
yeah, okay,
possible
that's-
incarceration.
I'm all
Bye.
understanding about that. But what I'm not understanding about is, bitch, we paid you.
You
Our fault if you fuck up your ship.
Well, here's the thing. She's charging you half because you're friends with Freesia. So you are the guys getting the friend discount right now, and she's getting fucked by it. The crew is not her crew, and it is aboard the ship, which is, I mean, it's nice, but other than that, you're paying her 5 gold a day. 5 gold a day for like a 30-day trip, and he's offering to pay twice just to get her to go back. And it's like, there's already a lot of risk.
Great.
But
And now,
I agree, she does suck. Like, as far as the boat captain
I'm
goes.
just so frustrated because I liked her and she's just fucking it up.
Does Alexandria burst through that door?
Poor River.
No,
only
she
hears
why?
bits and pieces.
No, that's a Brolin thing. She wouldn't do that.
Yeah, this
She's
is...
still trying to make up ground from what she couldn't understand because she had a freaking albino dwarf muttering in her ear.
Yeah, River seems stressed. She seems like this situation is a major risk to her. Make a charisma check for me, Freesia, in this moment to get her to just be like, relax, everything's gonna be fine. He's not gonna do anything. He's gonna let us go. Like, if that's what you want to
Through the
do.
door. Yeah, all she hears is eat the pig.
Yeah, you. What do you say to her? What do you say to her, Freesia? To calm her down.
I make a point that relax, even if we don't take his deal, which is looking like the most likely thing here. He won't want to mess with you right now because he wants to know what we're doing.
She says, "You're probably right. I've never dealt with someone like this before on my this is
You
just
might
a lot
even
of
get
weight."
an additional paycheck out of this when you come back to port.
I better get something. 5 gold a day was the promise I made you. That's half what I originally charged to take people. Because you're my friend, and I really liked going out drinking with you, and I thought maybe we could have a thing, but it's fine. Anyway, 5 gold is not enough for my ship and my freedom, so I would like
Plus,
to maybe
I did
see
manage to
something out of
talk
this.
Losi into giving you some money for this as well.
I was in that map room with you. You guys were talking about where you were going in that map room with River, right? Like what the plan was?
We
Around the
talked about
southern
going
end.
around the southern end. That's
Just
all
the
we
southern end. Yeah, you had her leave. That's right. She'll
Yeah.
say, I don't know where you're going or what you're doing. He cares about this Omu. I've heard it in a fairy tale. I think he's crazy. But if you're going somewhere and you are getting something, wouldn't it be nice if the person helping you get there for half price and risking their life very evidently right now would get maybe a little cut of something? Make it worth my while. With a 20 persuasion, you could say something and she will agree. I'm just...
Yeah, we can definitely make it... We'll come up with a plan to make it worth your while. Don't worry.
All right, Felicia. All right, don't fuck me here, please. Okay. All right. Let's get back on the ship. That sun is moving. It's going to be nightfall soon.
Plus, your brother is running the ship right now, and...
Oh, you're right. Get me out of here. Flask, don't you touch anything.
Flask is like,
Hair on end. She's a little stress ball. She's just trying to make sure the ship's shape. She's got people cleaning things when they don't need to be cleaning things because Sigil's not even coming back on the boat. She's just trying to make sure everything's fine. She keeps whispering to her brother to go back down into the lower deck, and he slinks away when he gets a chance a couple of times, and then he comes back, and then she talks to him, and then he slinks back. There's like a process of Flask sort of going down below and then coming back up over and over again during the rest of the day.
Classic skooma addict behavior.
Classic skooma. And if there was no other interactions this day before dinner, we can skip to that scene. What do you guys think? Let's eat.
I think let's eat.
I think I don't hear any protests, so I think it's let's eat time.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom. You the 5 adventurers of you 5 are invited. River is not, and she's relieved. She's not. All 5 of you are sent effectively an invitation to come aboard. How that is done, I think it's probably a situation where it could be shouted over. Well, I think Sigil Jack Brass essentially made it clear that he wants all 5. So those who did speak directly with him or listened in can decide whether or not they're coming. All 5 of you have been given an invitation, and I think it'll become evident that River is not. So, who is coming to dinner?
Well, I have to come to dinner just so no one else makes an ass of themselves.
Brolin's gonna go. He licks his hair down.
That is
Or would
exactly why Risha needs to come.
I straightened up my hair.
Did you have the dogs lick you clean twice?
I don't have dogs, Alexander. Well, yeah, I do it, but they're spiky dogs.
And they're back in the Temple of God.
Risha makes it a point to spend at least half an hour before we go making Brolin presentable.
Yeah, you totally can.
I look presentable. Get off me!
Can I stop in at any point to express how proud I am of her to be tackling such an unsurmountable task?
I'm not that dirty. Get off me!
You primp, you pamper. You guys get to try to look as nice as you can. Is anyone not going? It sounded like everybody, but is anybody like that? It sounds like the majority of you. Is anybody going? I'm not going to this dinner.
Frasier braids his beard. He's got a couple braids in his beard now.
There's some beads in there too. We don't know where she got those, but they're in there.
I love the way you phrase that. I don't know where they came from, but they're in there.
Oh, just showed up. Just appeared.
Frisco's like, my beads!
Doesn't sound like anybody's not going to be there. So it sounds like we're all going to
Risha
be
also
there.
switches to her fine clothes.
Why do you sound excited about that?
Because I am.
Okay, look,
happened to the Red Wedding?
Lord Frey. Oh no. So yeah, this is where I ended, guys. It's all going. I mean,
Well, guys, it's a beautiful campaign. It's amazing.
This is
We've
the
all
Choose
chosen
Your
to go to the Red
Adventure,
Wedding.
this is the Choose Your Own Adventure. This is the way you come to that last page and you see the end and you just flip back really quick and you no.
That's like, do you go to dinner or not? Go to the dinner.
Go to the dinner.
All of you are murdered as soon as you step on board.
You're so dead. You're so dead. All right, so we watch as your guys' ship Mako's Bite buds up and is sort of helped along by some sailors aboard using ropes as the Chultans reluctantly throw their ropes to the Flaming Fist, and the ship is brought up with buoys to be right at the side of it. You're able to climb up the steel and chain ladder of Baldur's Pride and make your way up onto the iron deck of the flagship of the Flaming Fist. As each of you step upon it, it doesn't feel like you're on a ship. There's no rocking of the waves. You would think even an object this big would have to sift in some way, but you feel nothing. It's perfectly and utterly stable, like you're walking on the cobblestones of a city. You immediately see the architecture of Baldur's Gate ingrained everywhere and anywhere. The symbol of the Flaming Fist and other sort of textures and colors like it wherever you look. You see at least 40 men plus on the top of the ship. Maybe it's pushing 50. Just a ton of men just on this one deck, and there's two more on either side of you that you assume would hold even more. They move about and make their way. You look across the other side of the ship, and you saw like sort of its vastness when it approached, but when you look across the other side of the ship, you almost question if you can see the other railing. And oh no, there it is. It's just literally like 200 feet that way. And it's this vast deck, and you can see supplies everywhere. This is a fully stocked. You can see that certain places are given like red, almost like red carpet pathways where like the officers would sit and stand, and that's sort of the space they are, and it's like an area that's left open on the deck that if somebody working on board would pass over it quite quickly to allow for an up and down sort of command situation. At all times, the ship is under military rule. You see men marching along. They're essentially not sort of like marching along in like troops sort of situation, but everything everyone's doing is mechanical in how they're doing it. It is a perfectly well-oiled machine of justice. And as you guys make your way aboard, it's like you're stepping into a town, like a small town. You are greeted by an individual who doesn't look like they hold any kind of rank, but looks as though they hold some sort of sway of being like a diplomat host situation. This individual wears the a thin robe. It is a woman, and probably in her 30s. She definitely is attractive, and she wears all the clothing that you would expect a Flaming Fist priest to wear. She has a darker tone of skin that suggests that she might be from Kalimshan, or maybe not that one. Probably like Kalimshan or maybe Halulin. And she has just jet black, raven dark hair. And as she approaches you guys, she'll say, "Welcome aboard Baldur's Pride. You this evening have the honor of being guests to the Lord of Baldur's Gate himself, Sigil Jackbrass, 5th Duke of the Flaming Fist. Excuse me. She doesn't say that. She says 6th Duke of Baldur's Gate, 13th General of the Flaming Fist, and heir to his name." And
Spain is sticking so close to Alexandria right now.
I see you have cleaned yourselves up. That is preferable.
Having seen I have perfume in my inventory, I put perfume on Brolin too.
I don't smell. I bathe.
You smell.
Says,
Also, Frisia left behind all of her weapons and hid her pin.
she
Except
say,
for her dagger to eat with.
normally in this kind of situation, I would have individuals check to see if you were holding any weapons, but Lord Jackbrass has made it clear that you are not to be touched while aboard the ship. But I will make clear, as I am one of many protectors of my lord, that aboard the Baldur's Pride, you will show the utmost respect for the individuals that run this little show. If you do anything here that is regrettable, note that it will be regrettable. Now that we are past that, welcome aboard. Come. This way. Your dinner awaits you. This beautiful priest. You're not sure if she's a priest. I think it's a beautiful diplomat. She's wearing very priestly-esque clothes, though. Will escort you all down into the lower decks of this galleon, of which there are 3. You are taken. You are taken down to only the very first deck, at which point you are taken to the very back of the ship, and as you are down below, it is as beautiful and perfectly built and precise as it was above. Still a well-oiled machine. You never get a chance to pass through the chambers with artillery. Those are avoided. She tries her best to take you through a way that is a little more... It's for the guests, situation. We're not going to show you the crude and the rude. And you are going down these halls, and as you make your way down the halls, you see portraits of the Dukes of Baldur's Gate in the past. You spot Samuel Dren. He has a portrait here. You are going down a red-carpeted sort of hallway. You see the Flaming Fist sigil making its way down in beautiful drapes. You see these pillars that make their way up of iron to have sort of a vaulted 60-foot ceiling. Not quite 60, it's probably 30. 30-foot ceiling. You see that there are sconces with magical fire burning in all of them, keeping this well lit. At the end of the hall is a large iron door that has the Flaming Fist sigil upon it, and as she approaches, she holds out a hand, and the doors open. And as they open, you see beyond the lavish personal chambers of the Lord of Water... not the Lord of Water, the Lord of Baldur's Gate. I'm used to saying Lords of Waterdeep. The Lord of Baldur's Gate. You see a massively long table. You see a room that is adorned with the colors of warm red and contrasted with cool purples in other areas. You can see that it's all the same, except it's that much more homey. The ceilings are lower. You see that the floor in perfect places has like pelted carpets kind of situation where it's like fur. There is a fire that is literally blazing in a hearth. You feel like you're stepping into the main dining chamber of a manor, rather than into a captain's quarters of a ship. Behind him are steps that lead up to his personal bedchamber, but in front of all this is this long table with the most lavish... I mean, it's a fucking spread, but it's all seafood. It's all seafood. All the way down, you see the bounty of the sea put before you. Anything you could want from the oceans of the Sword Coast, it's on this table. There is wine. You don't know what year it is, but dang, it's probably a good year. This is a table for powerful people, and this is a dinner for powerful people. And here you are, powerful people.
Roland is going to roll to resist a drink.
All right. I'll say at the very end of the table, you see there are servants lining either side. You can go and roll, see if you drink. At the end of the table is the unarmored visage of Sigil Jackbrass. He is in a red a red sort of cloak that's tight to his extremely large human frame. The red cloak goes all the way down. It's red with sort of white and gold filigree in certain places. It is a very beautiful dress jacket he wears over himself. His hair slicked back. He looks great. He looks very Gaston right now, but like a fancy Gaston is kind of his situation.
So Gaston.
And he'll just say,
He is Captain.
"My friends, you have all come. 2 of you I have yet to meet, and 3 of you I have. But I will call you my friends regardless. Let us meet in friendship. Please, have a seat. Let us enjoy our dinner." And he'll snap his fingers, and I think that's when they sort of lift all the trays, and that's when you see the spread, and you see the steam come out. Sigil Jackbrass is in no mood to talk business at the beginning of this conversation. He's the same way on the boat as he was before. He wants to casually speak with you. Maybe let you eat first, casually speak, and get to business after. To leave that for later. Leave the important stuff for later down. So he's going to try to do that. He's going to try to be casual with any of you. Any of you can engage with Sigil Jackbrass right now in a conversation together or as one about anything that you want. If the first conversation is, "Okay, motherfucker, what do you want?" then that's he'll probably try to be like he'll probably have something to say. But if that's what you guys push for, that's what you guys push for. So let's roll initiative, because this is very much an initiative kind of situation.
Damn. Damn.
Here comes my. There we go. I was gonna say I usually am notoriously low on the order.
All right. He is just casually talking about anything you want to have a conversation about. So Valfine, you would be the first to get his ear if you want it. You can say no. You can be like, "No, nope." You can pass if you want.
Pass.
Pass.
No. She is actively not.
I will say, since you are the
Sigil
first, I want to give you some back and forth. You're not engaging with him, but he would look to you as you are. What did you choose to eat?
Oh, Baldur's Gate. All the seafood.
Seafood platter.
Smells like home.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, if we're going for home, it would have to be if they had lobster. If it was available, that would be the choice. Yep.
Lobster.
Crawfish, something.
As you are eating, he's watching you first. He's having like a casual conversation with others, which we'll get to, but he'll look to you and will say, "Is it good?" "I imagine the smells of home must be quite nice for you."
Smells of home.
Says, "I'm sorry for my assuming, but you look as though you are from the land of Baldur's Gate, at least from around. I have spent 20 years ruling my people. I can spot one of my own when I see them. You are, aren't you? Or at least close by. Perhaps Daggerford?"
Well, I have been traveling quite a while. I only passed through there once.
Pass through Baldur's Gate?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
If you came in and never left until this adventure, that counts as passing through once.
It's true.
He'll look and he'll just say, "It is a beautiful city to pass through. Perhaps next time you go through, you could enjoy it a little more. Please, enjoy your meal."
Perhaps.
Alexandria, would you start any conversation with him?
No.
He will look to
Just
you.
like me.
He will look to you and smile. He's like I say, he's still having conversation, but he's trying to get everybody involved. He doesn't want anyone to be. It's that same like I'm being a host right now. Just say, "I remember you from the ship. I thought that maybe you were one of the other adventurers in the midst. I don't believe we had a chance to properly introduce ourselves, each other. Sigil Jackbrass. And you?
She's currently very focused on the crab leg that she's trying to pull the shell off of it to get at the meat, and she'll set it down, brush the butter and other oils off of her hands. She'll take a deep breath, close her eyes, turn to him, and sigh and say, Alexandria, it's a pleasure to meet you. With the party would identify this as the fakest ass smile they have ever seen on her.
Do you want to make a deception check, or do you know that is there no chance? Is it obvious?
You know, we're gonna roll it because the chances of
Let's see.
For some reason.
Let's see. For some reason.
Yeah, no.
He'll look and he'll just say, "No reason to be so tense, please. I only wished to speak, but it's incredibly obvious that you are uncomfortable. Is there something wrong with the food?"
She's shy.
Oh, the sass.
You told me that before, but I don't believe it.
Wait, told who what before?
Freesia told him that you were shy.
Brolin
nothing is wrong with the food.
Brolin is
Good,
excitedly eating and watching this nightmare unfold.
It is, or at least I'm assuming it will be delicious as soon as I free this crab leg of its contents.
Did you need one of these? And he holds up like a device for like cracking the leg. Here. Apologies, one of my servants must have not put one down on your napkin. Here you go.
No, they did. They did. It's right here. He picks it up to show him.
Good. Excellent.
I'm working on my strength stat, you see. It's rather low.
It's good to keep one in good health. That is I imagine being the adventuring type, making your way across lands such as this or worse, you would want to be in the best of physical fitness. I was during my days when I was an adventurer.
Oh, that's what I have that one for. And she points a crab leg at War.
She says,
we'll see what happens when what you see when get to the initiative.
You see, when he says exactly. See, I used to be where War was. I was the tank of my party. Oh, the adventures we would go upon. Oh, and the brutal thrashing I would get. It was difficult to make it through things, but I mean, I was the tank and the healer sometimes. I mean, it gets pretty bad. Don't we get that kind of? I mean, come on. Yeah, he starts. He'll go on for a couple minutes about just being an adventurer. And he might bring that up again. And just go. He says, I imagine that you are more of the not to assume, but if you say that you are not brawn, then perhaps you are smarts. Perhaps you take things from a different angle, from far away or from a sneaky place. In any sense, I respect your path. I remember protecting my friends, those who wish to do such things, as foolish as they may have been, but they have use for what I like to call DPS.
Little meta.
What do you mean?
No, I feel like I understand what you mean by DPS.
Damage people, sometimes.
Oh my god. What is this shit?
We had a lot of sayings back in my old party. Oh, what the stuff that Samuel Dren would get into. Oh, don't even start. There was one time we went into a mine. Oh, it was terrible. But, I mean, that's kind of where we found him. But that's an old story, really, really old. I'm sure you wouldn't want to hear it.
What mine was it? Was it dwarven by chance?
Oh, it may have been, I'm not sure.
All mines are dwarvish, really, if you think about it.
We had gone down there seeking a... That's true. Most mines are dwarvish, though the human mine has made its way before. We were searching for an artifact, something that would gift us immortality. We were fools, young, we wanted magical items, and we wanted experience, and we were just out there getting whatever we could. And we found this mine. We heard about this story of its madness that came within. At the time, it wasn't... Sigil Jackbrass wasn't... well, I was there, of course, but Samuel Dren wasn't with us. Went down with a rogue friend of mine, ended up betraying me later. Asshole, never seen him again. And went down there. I believe we had a couple others. Most of them died. It was... Honestly, we went down there. A lot of people died, and... Out of nowhere, we find this room, where the door closes quickly behind us. As it slams closed, we find that there's no way out, and there's an altar in the middle of the room with skeleton bones upon it. Someone's going to have to die, and it was me and one other person, a barbarian. I had barely known the person. They sort of just arrived, and the rest of my friends had already died. I mean, it's pretty terrible. I've gone through a couple of parties. It happens.
Sinks in her chair.
It happens.
As he continues to ramble.
As he continues to ramble. It's just like, the barbarian decided to sacrifice themselves to allow me to move forward. At which point, the skeleton on, and this I'm not kidding, the skeleton upon the altar rose once again. In its place, the barbarian died, and Samuel Dren lived. And that's where I met him. That's the first place I ever saw him. I haven't really thought about that story in a really long time. He was old, apparently, almost 100 years.
When you revived him again?
Apparently, at least that's what he told me. He could have been lying, he lies a lot. After which we went on a series of adventures, and I came to trust him for a time, and then... Well, then I didn't.
I'm sure that didn't work out well for you in the end.
He looks over to Brolin, and he's just like, I believe, at least looking at the way he's looking at you, you might have a similar relationship with him as I did with Samuel.
What, Brolin? She's gonna look over at Brolin.
He says, I see it.
Shooting me a...
He words...
shooting me a face right now?
He words best friend.
If Samuel Dren was at this table right now, he'd be giving me the same look, I guarantee it.
Well, she's going to turn an eye to Brolin. Considering the established story thus far, it doesn't speak very well for you, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Well, I will be sure to be there for your funeral, Brolin.
Not to speak ill of my old friend, though I was frustrated with him for a time. A long time. It took a while, and I did consider him an ally until... Well, until he got himself that curse, and then things started to go a different way. But what are you going to do? Things happen. He wasn't fit for dukedom anyway. So the conversation turns. We see a little bit more back and forth. We see sort of the relatable side of Sigil Jackbrass. Freesia, you have a chance to converse with this individual, or you. What do you do?
Freesia's main goal is to actually manage to get him to talk about himself as much as possible.
I already That's good for you, because he used up my whole turn talking about himself.
Yeah, he did. He did. He will talk about himself.
She also makes up this elaborate story using different people she's met to make this elaborate backstory for herself that has absolutely nothing to do with her.
Make a deception check. Yeah. Let's see.
God.
Let's see what he's got. Oh yeah.
The only thing that's true in the story is that she's from Kalimsham.
Okay. All right. You're able to get him to talk about himself a bit. I think he doesn't give away anything like crazy, but he talks about his exploits with the Flaming Fist, about sort of making it through that, about being kind of where you are now, and kind of making his way up. And he'll go on. You can get him to drone for another 10 minutes like he did with with Alexandria. It's not hard, but as you talk to him about like stuff, he'll listen in, and you can see like parts. He looks at his face, says, "Oh, that is wild. I can't tell if you're telling the truth or if you've just been through the ringer." And he's very happy with you. He likes the conversation that he's having with you, Frisha. He finds
I forgot. I have advantage on this sort of deception because I'm pretending to be someone else.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Oh God!
While this is happening, to distract herself, Valoria is, in no short or no small amount, telling Valfine exactly what is worth eating on this table and what should be avoided. Whether or not that's just something she cares about.
What is worth eating?
Yeah, like the good stuff. Like, this is good, that's not good, that will make your stomach hurt, etc., etc.
Okay.
As much to distract yourself as to be vaguely helpful.
For sure, for sure.
So yeah, we see Alexandria.
Yeah, for sure. She's going to listen to you intently. Yeah.
She does. Make a deception check for me, Valfine.
Just oh.
Yeah, deception while you're listening intently. Okay, cool. Yeah, Valfine seems pretty engaged in what's going on, just as Josh said. Listening to your advice in the situation. So Frisha gets Sigil Jack Brass talking. He has a drink. You're relaxing. This is a pretty positive dinner right now. It's going
There's
over
also
well.
the attempt to get him drunk, but
It's not gonna happen. You're not getting him drunk. He has one casual drink, and you guys are allowed to drink however much you want. And he makes that drink last the whole dinner. Brolin.
Okay. Brolin's a little tipsy, and he's drunk. He's eaten a bunch of crab legs and shrimp.
How is the wine, dwarf? Does it measure up to dwarven mead?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to lie. I've tasted dwarven mead. This is swill in comparison.
I mean, it's okay. Alcohol's alcohol.
Indeed it is.
So, tell me, you and Samuel, you were dukes.
We were. For 5 years we ruled together.
So, I gotta ask, what was the, if you don't mind me getting personal, what drove you two apart?
What drove us apart?
Was the berries. She stops mid-sentence of suggesting something to Valfine.
This wasn't Mary's. Say, I don't get the reference, but I imagine it's an inside joke. Ha ha ha.
Oh my God. Make a deception check, you bastard.
He doesn't get the joke. But he'll just say, what drove us apart was Samuel Dren. I had every intention to have him by my side for quite a while. But he chose another path. One that did not follow in line with mine.
Do go on.
Says, I mean, I have talked quite a bit. I practically talked over you. I am humble enough to admit that I like to talk.
Yes.
That's your job. You're a duke.
Indeed.
I mean, it's pretty much all dukes do.
Mm-hmm.
But I am
It's true.
legitimately curious this time. What did drive you apart?
What drove us apart was a difference in ideals. Samuel wanted for the world something I did not. He did not share my vision in a future of Faerun. I saw a place in chaos. A place where people cannot live without the worry of monsters coming up from the ground and killing them. I saw a place where people suffered. The poor got poorer and the rich got richer. I saw cities begin to crumble. I saw a world that was in its dying age. Samuel saw something different. He saw a world of, I'm not sure, potential? I think he liked the uncertainty of it all. I told him he was selfish. What I want for the world is a world where those who wish to live peacefully can live peacefully forever. He agreed, but not in the way I wanted to do it. I understood his reasonings. He didn't really understand mine, but he left dukedom himself because he did not like the way I wished to rule. He used it as a way to protest in the hope that I would change. What Samuel Dren did not understand is how much I care for this world. This is the place I came from. And he stops and pauses. Make a charisma check.
Brolin?
No, not Brolin. This is Alexandria cutting in on Brolin time for a second. I'm so sorry. We're gonna come back to Brolin. No, actually make it with advantage. Because Brolin asked this question initially, and you're pushing it forward. I would say make it with advantage, and Brolin can do it. Since it is his turn. I think that's fair.
Okay.
I mean, he's probably got better charisma than I do, so that's...
I have -1.
Okay, are we sure we want
You're
Brolin?
all
Do you
so
want
bad.
Alexandria to roll, Dustin?
Yeah, let Alexandria
Yeah,
roll.
Alexandria roll.
Alright.
Anyone have a positive score on charisma?
I have a 1.
I have a 0.
I also have a -1.
We
Let's see
all
let's see what he's
bad
got.
at talking.
Yeah.
We're not here for talking. We're here for killing.
I mean, I didn't expect to live past
five,
session
15.
2, so...
Look and say... Let's just say... I knew a place that did not fare as well as this one could. I have seen civilization fall. I will not do so again.
Can I roll an insight check
Go for it.
and see how sincere he is about this?
Go for it.
Yes. I'm hoping something. Maybe. Okay.
He's utterly sincere. You can tell he cares about this. This is this person. Like that, like he's talked about it before, but talking now, like this is you can surmise that this is this person's ultimate bond. Like it is the personality trait that dominates Samuel Dren.
You mean Sigil Jackbreast?
Sigil Jackbreast. Sorry, their names are very close. I'm dealing with S's.
A's and B's and S's.
Yeah, this is the personality trait that or bond, or you call it flaw, whatever you want. This is him. He'll just say, "Let's not let the conversation get too dim. We are here to enjoy a feast. Here to talk business." Possibly make a deal. But some I haven't gotten to talk to yet. What'd you say?
Seen? He's seen it? He saw the collapse of society?
Do you ask him that?
Okay.
Do you ask him? Did you say saw the collapse of society?
You can
Yes,
press it.
that triggers
Oh,
her.
dear.
Like
Oh,
he
dear.
says, he saw it.
He'll look at it and say, let's just say I am from a place. I'm not from Baldur's Gate. There you go. There's a bit of information not many people have.
From
Use
what
it
I've
as you will.
heard, not many people are.
He says,
It's sort of a immigrant town.
it's true. And I am
Well,
an
Fane's
immigrant.
going to sink further into her chair. Yes.
And I am an immigrant. I'm an immigrant to Baldur's Gate. I'm an immigrant to Faerun. I come from a place very far across the sea. A place very far from here. One that I will not talk to you about. I can simply say that if you were to ever try to sail across the sea, you wouldn't find much of anything. Faerun is a land that still has a chance, and I wish to be the one to give them that chance. He says, look at this. You've got me talking, don't you? You're good at this whole being adventurer things, aren't you? He says, well, drumming up the past for me a little bit. Kind of hurts. But been a while since I've talked about it, so what are you going to do?
Kind of hurt.
He says, hey, pasts can hurt. Don't we all have...
I didn't laugh at him. That's
Oh, no.
me.
Oh, you
That's
didn't.
her.
That was you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay, good. I want to make sure it's an
No,
Alexander.
out of character.
I'll just say, let's lighten the mood a little bit, shall we? And he looks over to Brolin, and then over to War. He says, how are you two at arm wrestling?
Me?
Yes.
Oh no.
A contest at dinner is, tradition, at least in Baldur's Gate.
I mean, War is bigger than me. I mean, he's the strongest one here.
I mean, I won't lie. My eyes are on War for this one, but I wanted to give you at least the chance at a contest. But if you decline,
I'll take the winner of between you two.
sounds like a plan. I'm pretty stuffed anyway. He'll move his plate out of the way. Servant, take this plate. Let's make some room. The rest of you, please, continue to enjoy your meal. And he knocks on the table. It doesn't shake. Iron table, no problem. Say, Turtle, do you wish to challenge me?
War kind of raises an eyebrow, and he's mid thing.
A healthy
And
competition.
This whole time, War has been eating very fancily. He has essentially the loudest food on the table. Like, I don't know if there's clams or things, but he's like ripping them apart, and you're just hearing the cracking, and then him like just grabbing it with his fingers
Your
and like
hands,
throwing
too.
it in. Yeah.
As you're doing
And, like,
that, go ahead. Keep going.
and the like crab legs, so like rip one off, grab one, bite it, and then to crack it, and then take his clawed fingers and like slide down there to pull the meat out really fast. Very efficient, very kind of practice.
Yeah.
If anybody's seen lizard folk, this is how they would usually eat.
He looks at you from across the room and he just says, now this is a turtle that knows what it wants. And he just goes, I have never had anyone sit down at my table and eat the way you are now. I will say, War, it is refreshing. It is refreshing. He says, you know what? And he puts his utensils to the side and picks up a crab and just cracks it with one hand. And he just says, I can't eat it quite like you, but why are we using utensils? I mean, come on. And he just slurps out some of the food and just gulps it down. And says, I haven't eaten like that since I was at the Yawning Portal.
Risha, on the other hand, is spotless.
War kind of looks over and he's like just realizing what's going on, and he's like,
Oh,
Who is he sitting next? Who is War sitting next to?
A napkin for me, please. And he gets one and wipes off his face.
He kind of sets down whatever shells he wipes himself off a little bit and says, I picked up some bad eating habits with the lizard folk.
Do not worry, friend. There are no manners at this table. Not needed. And, he'll say...
Laurie is mortified. That is disgusting.
Do you say that verbally? Do you say that out
No,
loud?
but she's got that look on her face that's a mix between
Like-
awe and disgust.
Yeah, he'll say, my challenge is still available. Of course, we don't have to. It's just been a while since I've, I mean, you can look around my ship. There's not too many as big as me.
I'm up for it.
Well, let's get at it, shall we? And he puts a hand on the table. All right, make a
Yes.
strength check.
Just strength?
Just strength.
Okay.
Oh, strength saving throw, sorry.
You got this.
Saving throw.
Saving throw.
Okay.
I believe. Crack it like one of those crab legs.
Alright. So we got... Ooh, okay. Alright, you get in there and he immediately, like you could tell he might be like, out of practice a little bit, and he's just, alright, roll one more.
No.
Oh no!
He pulls it back. I'm not as young as I used to be, but I'm still here. And he starts to bring it back. Last roll to see who gets it. He's strong, War. Like you feel like it's like our.
Oh no! He could roll less. He could roll less.
He could. I don't even see what it is. My stuff loads real slow. Alright, set it out. Did it go?
Not yet.
No.
Yeah, is it lagging?
Wait for it.
I'm frozen, I think. Yeah, I'm frozen. at the
Yeah, you
moment.
might be frozen because
I might be frozen. No! I'll roll a d20 if I have to. Oh, God, do I not have any? Why am I completely frozen?
Where are your dice? You
Oh, no, there we
dungeon
go. There we go. Oh, there we
there it
go.
is.
All right.
Oh shit.
He brings it down. I think I've got you, friend. And he puts all of his weight into it, and you can feel the table does start to shake a little bit. Make a perception check for me with advantage, War.
Perception with advantage.
Oh,
Where was that? On the
Where-
left.
You know something that no one else knows in this room. Sigil Jackbrass is not actually sitting there.
Then what am I arm wrestling with?
You are arm wrestling with very powerful magic.
Okay.
You know, looking into, you get close, and what you see is you get close and you're engaged with him, and you watch as he pulls through with that strength, and you immediately get a sense, a flash in his eyes, a sheen that's only visible this up close, this close, and you notice he's not sweating. There's no beads of sweat coming off of his head. He looks right in the face. It's not coming down. He's not there. This is a projection of him.
That would probably be why he rolled low. It's because he's distracted.
It is a very powerful projection of him.
Yeah.
You have no idea where the real one is, but this is not the real one. At least you think, because it's a natural 20. I'll give it to you. It's not that this isn't the real Sigil Jackbrass. It probably is, but this isn't his physical form.
Right.
So that's something
Was
you
he
know.
eating it all?
He was
Okay.
powerful magic.
Yeah.
And he, you release from it. And he says, "Now that was a contest." He pulls on your shoulder, and he just says, "I have not felt such strength in a long, long time. Thank you, friend. Thank you."
Yeah.
All right,
Heaven,
all
I
right.
see.
I get to take the winner.
That's right.
And Roland kind of stumbles up.
That's right. All right, let's made a promise. Let's see how this works out. He puts his arm down. All right, go ahead and make a roll.
Oh no!
How much on the dwarf?
Oh!
You feel the weight come just full forward. Go ahead and make another roll.
Oh no!
It was
Oh!
a boom.
Oh!
It was a good try, friend. Make a perception check
Eh,
with advantage. You don't know. You do not know.
An 18 doesn't do it.
Doesn't.
Oh,
Frisha
some...
makes a comment about how she would totally arm wrestle him too, but she doesn't want to embarrass him.
I don't know what's up, but something's... I don't know. Something's up.
You see, you and you, and he points. It says you, and you. He points at the three women in the room, and he says, "I do not want to test any of your strength. I imagine that I may be too much for me. That's a challenge, by the way."
Alexandria, like anime, walks up to him, takes off her cloak.
These are just my training clothes.
Satsubi.
And he'll go, no need. I mostly just wanted to arm wrestle the turtle. I'll be honest. It's kind of the first thing I thought when I saw him. I mean, I was kind of the muscle back in my day, so, and I still got it a little bit. But I imagine I have you on an off day.
It brings back memories.
Exactly. You're out there in the fields, and here I am on a ship. All the time. All the time somewhere. I do envy your life. I do. To be young again.
Make the Frisha joke even funnier. Frisha maybe weighs 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, it's like, he's just like, I'll take any of you. But, oh, not really. I'm not going to actually do that. Excellent. As the table goes around, up to you guys whether or not you enjoy his presence. Jack Brass is he's a likable guy, but any of you can keep in mind everything else you know about him. But this is not a negative experience up until now, where it could be. At which point, dinner has been eaten, you all have drinks, plates taken away, and you're left with a pretty clean table. There's a couple crumbs around. Some of the food's still sitting out for picking later, and he has his drink in his hand, and he says, "I really have enjoyed this. I'm very glad you all came aboard. So I guess there is the matter of dirty business. It always comes down to business, doesn't it? So, made you an offer on Mako's Bite. An offer that you could accept, or you could decline. I will reiterate what I had offered before, just to make it clear that nothing is lost in translation. I want to see you through to whatever it is you wish to search for in Chult, which point like I said, don't need to know. I wish to help you on your journey in a similar way that my predecessor, in one way or another, Samuel, done before me. I wish to see you succeed. That's what I want. Maybe it's partly because I want to see the work of my friend done. Whatever you were doing for him, maybe make it worth something. But of course, as I said before, I have my own reasoning for wanting this. There is a place I want to find. But if your travels don't take you there, you could still be of we could be of great use to each other. I have men all over Chult traveling, but the further they go, the more I lose them. You came back from the jungle. You returned, you did something many people don't. I trust that you might be able to come back again. So, I want to see that happen. I want to give you a ship. Sturdy steel. Will fly the banner of the Flaming Fist. No pirates will attack you. No one would dare fight on these seas, on my seas. The shore of Chult, going whether south, east, or west, is secure for the most part if you do not take to land. There will be no mortals that would challenge you across this way. You would have a full crew, 80 men, at which point the majority are sailors alone. But along with you would come the supplies needed for an expedition, one to get there on ship, and one to take you on land. You'll be given enough supplies and materials to be able to get all the way back to Port Nyanzaru if you were to make your way all the way south, if that is where you're going. West, east, doesn't matter. You would have enough supplies. I would give you an assortment of skilled soldiers to help you on whatever expedition on land you wish to make. They would be able to assist you, and they are being paid quite well. If they die in the field, then that is their line of work. They've accepted that. This is... Of course, you would have access to any kind of materials that... swords, shields, breastplates, anything that you require, though I highly suggest not wearing heavy armor in this weather. It could be more of a detriment to you than help. Any kind of materials you need, I can provide. Outside, of course, of the more extravagant ones. Magic items, for instance, are not something that I can provide for you, past what I already have. He looks at you and says, the magic items you have now are courtesy of the Flaming Fist. So, I believe I've already helped you in that department. But what I can offer you is safety. At least getting to where you're going. Hopefully, once you make land, if you decide to take an expedition of my men with you, I'll be able to help you in whatever incursions you go forward with. I want to see you succeed. But you are free individuals. You are not under my employ, and you owe me no debts. This choice is yours to make. So I leave it up to you. You can say yes or no. In any case, you can walk through that door and back to your ship, and you can go on your way. What will it be?
Well, we talked about it a bit, and going to have to respectfully decline your...
You see, we just don't want to waste your resources. We're going on a frivolous adventure.
Yeah, we're going to find turtles. I mean, we already got a ship and a crew, and we already worked our butts off to get it.
He looks to those who haven't spoke, Alexandria and Velfie.
Come on, Sasquatch.
Sasquatch?
Sasquatch.
Oh.
Sasquatch.
You've been more than accommodating thus far, so I will treat you to the truth of the matter, being that agency is very important to us. And although your offer is very kind, we are concerned that it comes with no small amount of debts and favors we would be obliged to owe. And that is something we are not comfortable with.
Looks to Valfine, who's sunk halfway in her seat at this point, I imagine. I don't know, I'm not sure. To see if you have anything to say.
She's not good at talking.
You don't have to. You can say
She would nod, I guess, more in agreement than anything with especially like war in Alexandria there. Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty clear, I think, from body language.
All right then. I will make a group charisma check. Persuasion.
Oh no. Because Brolin is drunk, can he have advantage?
That doesn't give you advantage, and your resistance to being poisoned. But if you're actually drunk, then you're poisoned, so it would be disadvantage.
Nah, he's okay.
My dice was almost on an 18, and then I rolled onto a 4.
No.
We're so dead. We're gonna die.
We're not gonna die. It's just not gonna be very convincing.
Wait, inspiration.
You could use your inspiration here if you guys want to. You got
I
it.
don't have
You got it.
inspiration.
Okay, that's better.
All right. Alexandria as well.
I can't wait to wreck this roll. Yeah, there it is.
Alex, Valfine, you gotta use your inspiration.
I don't have any.
Alright, I'm using quadruple.
You don't have it. Definitely don't have quadruple.
Take it.
He'll look up, he'll shake his head, and he'll just say, "Well, it's not like it was unexpected. You are the adventuring type, and I would know it as well as you do now. I've sat where you were. Made that clear multiple times this night, haven't I? Maybe too much drink for me." He'll push it away. "Oh, well, I can't say I did not try to help you, but I cannot force my aid upon you. You are... well, you value what is most valuable to you, your independence. And I don't blame you for that. Says, I respect your decision. And I wish you the best of luck in your coming days upon the seas and wherever you go in Chult. I hope that if you are continuing Samuel Dren's work, that you will succeed. That is the best I can hope for you." He says, "I will offer you, at the very least, a small token. And I hope that you will accept." And he'll usher over to something probably you guys didn't see before. There's some chests on the walls. He'll say, "Within that iron chest there is 30,000 copper pieces. Throw that into the ocean. When you meet the dragon turtle Armag, it should give you more than enough to pass without being hindered. At which point, your destiny is up to you. But please, will you accept at least this from me?"
If it is being freely given, I see no reason
Yeah.
to deny such a gift.
I expect nothing back for this, and you will never hear it piss my lips again. If we ever meet, I will never hold it over your head. Think of it as a simple donation in the name of a friend that I once knew.
With that, I think we're just gonna pull out one of Samuel Dren's scales and hand it to him and say to remember him by.
He'll pick it up and look at it. "Thank you. Thank you. and he'll put it in a pocket. Well, I've wined, I've dined you, we've talked. It was a good night, one to remember, one that I will remember for some time. Thank you so much for entertaining me this evening, and Godspeed to you. I will have my servants, a few of my soldiers, take that on board your ship so that no one has to lug it. Unless this one over here wants to grab it, and he points over at War. I'm sure you could pick it up. But please let me. Well, not me. My soldiers. And, yeah, he'll, as dinner concludes, he'll walk you guys out onto the deck. The starlight is above you. And you can sort of, there's the deck is lit in many places, well lit with magical light aboard the top deck. There are individuals still walking around. As Sigil Jackbrass walks, he has a host of servants that follow behind him. Soldiers will salute, and he does a lot of like this as he passes, just like at ease, at ease, at ease, at ease. He just sort of says it as he goes by, and then he, like, one of his admirals might come up and just be like, "My lord, the latrines need to be cleaned." He says, "Yes, make sure you send someone on that." And he just like the obvious stuff as he walks you out and just sort of talking, and just casually as you go to board onto your ship, and he'll say, well, he's got his arms behind his back, and he says, well, as I said before, thank you once again for the excellent evening. I believe my gift here is more than enough pay for such a night to remember. He says, well, if we have no other parting words, I believe this is where I leave you.
So, I made a sleight of hand to steal a crab and a bit to give to the captain and his
Go for it. For
a flask of wine.
Go
and,
for it. Yeah. Make a sleight of hand. 15?
It's there.
He already did.
Yeah, you got it. You don't know who saw you, but if anybody even did. But you're pretty sure you got it. Stuffed on the back of your shirt.
Or will say, as they're leaving, it was a pleasure having dinner with you, and I'll not lie to you. I was expecting you to be a different kind of man.
Most believe that is that's a common thing, really.
Yeah.
Politics and personality have two different roads. You are who you are when you need to be.
You do have some very lofty aspirations, but I can see that it's true, that it's what you believe to be right.
Thank you.
And I cannot fault you for that.
You are making it really hard to let you go. He just says, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And all the same respect goes to you. You treasure your independence, as I said before, and I hope that you wield it well. And he'll look to Brolin, say, because he remembers the conversation from before. He'll say, I do hope that your view of the Flaming Fist has changed at least a little bit. We're all people here in Faerun, whether we wear a sigil with a flame on it, or whether we wear a sigil with anything on it. We're all a part of the same world. And what you said before about the children, it has not left my mind. Do not think I do not have influence. My hand does not stretch as far as I will it. I will see that such things do not happen again. Or at least happen less.
Brolin stares at him for a minute. And he pauses. He's trying to formulate his sentence. He's a little drunk.
Yeah.
He goes, you weren't wrong. The people at Chult messed up. They've been messing up for a long time. They're trying to change.
They deserve a second chance.
The mazes can be cruel.
Indeed they can.
But what you're trying to do, I don't know.
And it's very noble, and I push Roland.
It's like, no, he pushed. It's like you're trying to tame Chult. That's not what you should be doing. You should be helping Chult.
And I'm sure he is. I'll push him on the boat too.
He says,
Time to go.
He says, "Do not worry, dwarf. Do not worry." No, he doesn't know dwarf. He says, "Do not worry." To those trying to pull him away, I have not become a politician by being surrounded by yes men. Samuel Dren was one of my closest allies, and he shared the same thoughts. We agree to disagree, dwarf.
Yeah. All I can tell you is that if you try to chain Chult up, it's gonna fight back. It's gonna blow back in your face. That's all I'm gonna say. You might help us.
And that's all he's going to say.
He's being pulled away, and he'll
True to his word.
nod. He'll say,
That is all.
"And I have heard protests of the same before. It is not new to me, but do not think I have not considered it." He's speaking to those who aren't, not Brolin. Brolin's been pulled away. he's just responding to it, because he's surrounded by his crew as well, and he'll say, "I do wish you all the safest of travels." And he watches, like, they heave over, ping, a bunch of money onto your ship, and you can hear the sound of copper pieces, ching, the bottom. So do be careful, men. Don't scratch up a ship I've already damaged. Oh, by the way, at which point he pulls out a small satchel and tosses it to you. War. He'll toss it to War.
Okay.
Say, "Please give that to your captain for the broken demonstration that I gave. Got a little bit excited."
It was impressive.
He says, "None, thank you." Let's see. Well, looking to Alexandria and Valfine, who are ushering off Roland. He'll nod. He'll nod as Frisch says, "I'll do the same." We're just like try to get out of the situation. And yeah, he'll give you a salute, and you guys are off and back onto the deck of Mako's Bite. The ropes are pulled back, the buoys are pulled away, it's tied off, and you push away from Baldur's Pride, and our ship begins to drift off, and we would watch in the distance as Baldur's Pride sets sail and takes off back towards Baldur's Gate. I would like any of you, though, to make a perception check.
Okay. Oh no. Perception.
Oh, nice.
He drinks and he knows things.
We're turning around to go give the captain the money.
We just need an Alexander perception, unless you don't think you got it.
Yeah, Alexander, you gotta do it, Alexandria.
It's up to
You gotta pull through it.
Okay.
Damn.
This is why I don't roll these.
Valfine and Brolin, you do notice that in sort of all the commotion of you guys getting down the ladder and everything sort of being pulled onto the ship in the process of taking it back, sneaking down from the ladder of the ship onto your ship, you see your captain, River. She boards the ship, fixes her hat, and walks on board looking pretty pleased with herself. And she comes on after you guys. You guys have kind of gotten on the ship, and you've kind of settled in. There was the whole process of taking it off, and while that was happening, she starts trying to sneak down the ladder.
Roll and go, hey!
What?
You look really furry. Hey, give me a hug.
No. Can someone get the dwarf off of me? Can someone get the dwarf off of me, please?
Worst already heading towards. And tries to pull him off a little.
So, how did everything go? Are we setting sail? It seems
War,
as though...
take me down to my room, War. You
will in a
rejected
moment.
me. No, you gotta take me down now, War. And Brolin grips your hand really fucking hard. like really hard, really hard. Like that you wouldn't think like what? Come on, you gotta take me downstairs now.
Just a moment. And he hands the River.
Oh, the money. Oh, and he said the flaming
This
fist
was
symbol
for
on
that.
it. Yeah.
Yep. This was for the railing.
Thank you. Thank you. It seems everything went well. Looks like we're taking off.
Yes.
Well, why don't you tell us how it went?
She looks to you. What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What I mean is we need to get this ship moving. I mean, we have a little bit of moonlight. We might be able to get past Armag and make the way through the morning.
Yeah, it sounds like you better do that. You haven't been at the helm for quite some time.
Well, we've been parked.
Yes, we have been parked. I have things to do. Excuse me. We have to get the ship running. It doesn't run itself. She'll try to disengage from that. She's so uncomfortable with you.
Bonus action disengage.
Bonus action disengage. She is scared. She knows you saw her.
Excuse me, it's an action for non-rogues.
Like
Full action.
you've got enough implication there.
Edge.
You've got River nervous.
I am going to immediately check that chest for traps and shit.
Yeah, make a perception check. Yeah, go for it.
We're taking Brolin downstairs because I think he got the message.
Okay.
All right, Brolin. When you're in Brolin's room, he shuts the door. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I had to rush you down here, but
You don't have a room, by the way.
No.
You could be in River's room.
Wait, before we shut the door real quick, and I look under the bed to see if Flask is down there.
He's not.
Okay, listen, I'm sorry I brought you down here, but I saw her climb down from the ship.
Who?
River.
From their ship?
Yeah. I smell something bad brewing, War.
Hopefully she didn't do anything to get us in trouble.
I am upstairs bribing flask of wine with crab.
Make a persuasion check.
Think you can puke on command?
Think you can puke?
Me?
Yeah.
That was the second worst roll I could possibly make.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel
Nice.
like it's worth me rolling against
Wait,
it. To see.
Alex, you have inspiration. You have inspiration.
You
If
can
this
play a
is what
quick
you
duty before you roll.
What time is it? Okay, it's perfect time for inspiration. The session's almost done. Oh my god.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
why am I even rolling? You get him out with that smell. You like it's literally just like and he completely goes like animal like on you, just like he opens it up like completely. He has his own like war way of cracking this thing open, like a cat, and just ripping it. He'll bat at it for a while. He goes crazy, man. That's some expensive crab that he got. He's munching on it for sure. Were you trying to bribe River too, or just Flask?
I'll have some for River too, but mostly I was just making Flask like me.
Yeah, she'll smell. Did you get it on the ship? Oh, this is good stuff for me, really.
Well, I'm full now.
Well, then I won't say no, and she'll just eat it. Oh, that's good. Oh, oh, living the high life. Then wouldn't I give? All right. Excellent. Conversation below with Brolin and War. How's that going? Actually, Valfine Alexandria, let's turn to you real quick.
I am digging through this chest, making sure it is not full of shit or something surprising.
It's completely untrapped. It's unlocked. You open it up. It is filled with copper coins, all with the branding of Baldur's Gate, which you're familiar with. And you dig in through. It's just coin the whole way through. It's an iron chest.
No red blinky lights on the back.
There is nothing sinister about the chest.
Anything, any kind of remote detonation.
Remote kind of detonation. I mean, unless one of the coins. He literally told you to throw this into the ocean. So, like, there's nothing on there.
Detect magic.
I don't have detect magic. I have Arcana. I've read about things. I don't.
Well, who here would have it?
Oh,
Your
boy.
girlfriend.
So what? this
Maybe
really
I want
is-
to. What?
So what this really is a giant bomb that he's trying to get us to feed to our mag.
There you go. That's how we'll get you.
Man.
That's how I'll sink the ship. Not that he could do it right now if he wanted, but...
So I mean, if Alexandria has anything, like Valfine's making sure that we're square.
You're square
So-
on the chest. You're square from your 21.
Okay.
You're square.
Whew, okay.
I would have Alexandria.
What of Alexandria?
She's just going down
What?
to like a quarters. There is literally in this place for you guys to sleep. River and Flask sleep in the room. In the one room this boat holds. The rest of the hold has hammocks for you guys to sleep in that stack up to the ceiling on the bottom hold. There's enough for everyone on board and yourselves, but in shifts. So you would be sharing it.
Oh boy, guess I'm sleeping in one of these then.
It's not great. Doesn't smell super good. Like the cloth isn't like you're going from highbrow, super nice to like just it's a bottom of a smuggling ship. You've gone from being in an Empire Strikes Back fucking super Star Destroyer to the Millennium Falcon. Like that's what you that is the difference.
Castle run in less than 12 parsecs. Watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth.
That's a distance. Everyone makes it.
So yeah, that's the difference. So we see
Feels good, man.
we would see you at one of these things. There's a couple other Chultans sleeping. A couple tiers above you in the bunks. Home sweet home for the next 10 day. The sea life.
Another 10 day.
Another 10 day. Let's get some conclusion out of that War in Berlin scene before we close it off. What any more conversation between you guys when it came to that? I cut you off after first sentence number 1.
You want me to throw up?
So, can you puke on command? We got a cover story to get out of here.
He puts a finger in his mouth.
Not here, and then it literally starts dragging.
What's the cover story? What's the plan?
He's just trying to run back up onto the ship and like hold Brothen over the side a little bit.
Oh,
like
it's making a reason that you guys went below. Okay, yeah.
Well, he said take me below, and now I'm like...
It's not hard to make yourself puke, bro, and make a deception check together. Make a deception check together.
With advantage?
With advantage, one of you, yeah.
You with advantage.
Go for deception here.
Damn it.
I mean, it might seem a little dramaed up. You're not sure who's really looking. I mean, you probably get an eye from River and maybe Flask if he's on the thing. Just like, I mean, you're a dude vomiting off the side. Like, it's a small ship. I mean, it's going to be a situation of, is he okay? Or, what? It's some really weird sounds coming out of him. But yeah, you're able to barf over the side to some people. Some people are just kind of like, all right, whatever. We're gonna let Berlin do what Berlin's doing. That's a character for sure that's coming aboard the
help you
ship.
be less drunk.
There you go. You did really vomit though. I think you got it back out. It's just like a lot of like after like like hamming it up a little bit. And they might just attribute it to you being drunk. Very cool. Well, my friends, I believe the night will fall on the ship. You don't quite make it to Armag, but you will first thing in the... Wait a minute. No, you'll make it to Armag. that we're gonna open up on like the getting to be evening, sun setting in the back. I forgot how far you guys get on the map itself. You guys get pretty far. You get, I think, with one thing you can get past that opening. So I think we'll do Armag at night. So when we come back next time, you guys, yeah, because you guys can go 120. Yeah, you will be right at Armag at the end of the night situation. Technically, it goes all day. It's moving all day, so it would happen in the middle of the night kind of situation. Like, middle of the night, early morning. Yeah, middle of the night, early morning, because the ship doesn't stop. There's no, like, anchor for rest. So it's 120 in a day, so it'll be, like, middle of the night, really early morning when you arrive here with Armag. So it might be dark, depending. All right, guys, excellent session. That is where we are going to call it for the night. Amazing roleplay by everybody. Oh, so good. So good. Not a sword was lifted. Not a spell cast.
That's saying something.
So most of the inspiration got used.
Most of the inspiration did indeed get used. Oh my goodness. Good session, guys. Good job getting through Baldur's Pride. I'm glad that's what I named the episode, because that's where it took place. Was Baldur's Pride.
Yes.
And from here on out, as far as the eye can see, the land of Chult is yours to take. Your venture is yours. You are nobody's master. You continue to not be.
Nobody's our master.
Nobody's our
master.
Nobody. You. No one is your master. Yeah.
We're our own masters.
You're your own masters. That's what I wanted to say. Very cool. I'm going to close out the stream, and we can chat a little bit afterwards. But, okay, very cool. My friends, thank you so much for joining us. Anybody who was in chat, thank you for hanging out with us. I super appreciate it. If you look up above, you see that we do not actually interact with chat. We kind of... Some people might be in there. Some of the players... I'm not. We got 4 followers with this one session.
We had 10 to 15 people stop by.
That's super cool. I'm so glad.
Really?
That's
nice.
Like the most we pulled for a D&D game. But yeah, I want to thank our new followers. We got one Manco. We got we got SG Wild. SG Wild. We got West 30 5 Rod, and then we got SGW Wild also. We got 2 Wilds in here. Very cool. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the channel. We play D&D on Mondays and Wednesdays. We do Tomb of Annihilation here. We do it Wednesday with not this whole crew, but one of them. We got Josh in the Wednesday one as well. But this crew we play on Mondays when we can. 7:30, always this time. All of the information for that is down below. Blah blah blah. Very cool, friends. Again, and if you were just lurking, if you were just hanging out with us, super appreciate that too. If you're watching this in a VOD, you're from the future. We're all from the past, but we have this connection, you and I. Very cool. I think next time we're streaming, Wednesday, more Dungeons and Dragons, same time, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, different adventure, same layout, I promise. but it should be pretty good. Very cool. Then I think that's everything. I'd like to thank my amazing cast. Everybody here is absolutely spectacular. You can see their names and all of their social media if you want to go follow them anywhere doing cool things and games and fun stuff. Very cool. Wherever you are in the world, friends, no matter where, morning, noon, or night, make it a good one, because we sure as hell will. In Chult. Bye!
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.